All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 27th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Oh, I'm a little busy here.
You're a little busy here.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Let me get this in a frame here. It's kind of, what is it? It's kind of paper snowflake day.
It's Paper Snowflake Day.
Yeah, so I just made this.
Happy Make Cutout Snowflakes Day. Oh, that's pretty good. You just did that just then?
Yeah.
That was awesome. Good job.
Right. Yeah. See here's my scissors. See the bottles, the beer glasses, and everything. They're tulips. Like that.
Well, you should all be realizing that we have a third person on the screen for the beginning of this show, right?
Oh,
we never do. So,
who Matt, him?
We can't bring him on as a special guest, right? Can't bring him on as a special guest because he's not been a guest host before. He's been a producer, and he's special. But so just on that note, we'll just put up his moniker. All right. So here he is, joining us on the show tonight, as he does in this particular show every year, is Matt Potenski. And here is his, and we announced it last year, and we haven't even put it up actually until now. But here is his current title. He's the co-owner and brewmaster of a newer brewery in New Jersey called Coastal Brewworks. How are you this evening, Matt?
Can't complain.
Oh, by the way, he's also the Log Room Guys producer extraordinaire. So
no, he's not. We fired him.
No, we fired Brian. We didn't fire.
We fired Brian. That's right. We did fire Brian.
Exactly. Got 2 comments already. Brian.
Oh yeah. Does he know he was fired?
Well, he does now. What's up, Brian? And Tom Overhill, Beer Whisperer, is here. Hello, Tom. How are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Please, both of you, comment away all night with everything we talk about. Please do.
Yeah. This is the end of the year show.
Yeah, we didn't want to take any time away from Matt being on because this is the show we do this particular Tuesday every year. The 3 of us, we wrap up 2022, right? We talk about all the beers we drank, all the breweries we visited, all the
those that we can remember,
everything, whatever we can remember in this particular genre, if you will. But of course, Dave had to make a snowflake first. It's also National Fruitcake Day, isn't it?
It is, and you know the theory that there's really only one out there that
one fruitcake gets passed
around. Yeah,
exactly. It's Happy National Fruitcake Day, but you know what? I am not as adept at making great paper snowflakes as you are, clearly. So I wasn't going to do that, and I'm not in control of the fruitcake right now. So tomorrow will be a year since we did the last show because you know how days go forward a year, right? So tomorrow is
unless it's leap year, then goes.
Unless it's leap year, it's 2 days, right? But it's National. What was last year? National
Eat Chocolate and Chocolate Candy Day.
National Eat Chocolate Day or Chocolate Candy Day. So
let's just call it National Eat Chocolate Candy Day.
I'm gonna have some peppermint bark right now.
You're gonna have some peppermint bark?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna have some peppermint bark.
Oh wow, let's both eat peppermint bark, shall we?
We'll eat some peppermint bark.
There we go. Matt, you gonna have some peppermint bark?
Nope.
You
have a beer though.
All right.
Oh, I got beer too.
So Matt, while we're eating our peppermint bark, what beer are you drinking?
Well, going with the home team. This is
our
coffee porter that we just came out with. May or may not have already made an appearance on the show. But
well, you know, it's funny. Last week, Dave had it. The week before, I had it. So it's been on the last 3 shows. So
we're making it 3 weeks in a row.
So you got to get one to whoever our next guest is going to be. No, we're off next week, right?
We're off next week. Following week is the Smoke Beer show, so none of that will be had on that show.
No. Until you guys do a Roush.
Mm-hmm. That's a possibility. We got another comment.
And we can do it on our own place. We'll do one.
Brian is apparently at Bolero right now. He asked Erica if she would put this on the big screen of Bolero. Please do.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Put it on
look at that. Kissing ass trying to get his job back.
And it wouldn't even be an event, right?
Nope, not an event.
Not that it matters anyway, because
well, what is that? They may not be able to do this because this is our year-end special show. This is almost like a
championship game. None of us are winning a championship doing this, though.
Yeah, we're not winning a damn thing, are we?
No.
So
and the events reset in 4 days.
Oh yeah, so even they had it. Yeah. Good, we're good.
Yeah. And James Harris is weighing in. Hello, James.
Hey, James.
Where are you this evening? As if I didn't know. And also, Tom, that is a beautiful beer. Thank you, Tom.
I'm glad James made it home alive last night. Where was he? Alewife Brewing, I believe. And
Alewife yesterday, yeah. That's right. So, Dave, what are you drinking for your first beer?
Oh, my first beer. Well, this is if you've been following the show and you remember the last show of the year is our big beer show.
Big beer show, right?
It's one of the reasons we have Matt on, because Matt loves big beers, and Matt's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the big
beer, big guy. It's a big beer show.
So I started with a 6.5% one. So
right. Who starts off?
What's the lowest? Mine is hard. Actually, no, mine's the lowest. My first beer.
Yours is the lowest. Well, how big is the one I'm starting off with?
It's big on flavor, though.
Huh?
There you go.
It's big on flavor.
Yes, it is. I'm starting off with I can't read.
11.5.
11.5. So it is Hardywood's Bourbon Barrel GBS. GBS stands for Gingerbread Stout.
You know what's funny is, so you're starting off with that beer.
Yeah.
But you're drinking 750 of it.
Well, no, I shared some.
Shared some. Okay. Fair enough.
Carrie's got a pour of it, but yeah, I've got the lion's share of it, so to speak.
Fair enough. That's always good. Always a good thing. I am starting off.
This beer doesn't shock.
No. It doesn't. I'm going to actually start off with a little Long Trail Hibernator.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a classic.
A little throwback.
Yeah.
Found it. Had to get some. Figured, why not? I'm going to start off with this beer. It's going to
ramp me up. He heard that one of the liquor stores had it, and he made a special trip.
I ran right over to that one liquor store that had one 6-pack of it, and it was indeed from this year. So, a few other comments. Gene Lynch, hi, checking in from a brewery in Carlstadt, New Jersey.
Okay, so if that's the case, then he might be sitting right next to our former producer. Possibly.
I believe he is.
Even funnier if they were at opposite sides and didn't even realize.
They were opposite, didn't even realize there. Yeah. Dave Campanelle said, Dave, CB's hold his beer better than John anyway.
Right, so obviously Dave's already started drinking.
No, I didn't know. I was wondering what CB's were. Dave can hold his beer better than John anyway.
I'm holding it extremely well right now.
Yes, you are.
That.
All right.
John's not even holding his beer, so
I'm going to hold my beer right now. So, cheers, gentlemen, for our kickoff show. Cheers.
Kickoff.
Kickoff. Wrap up. There you go.
There you go. Wrap up.
2 weeks is the kickoff, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks is kickoff for 2023 is upon us.
That is a good beer. It's a really good beer. Hibernator.
We've been making that for a long time.
Many years. Long Trail's been making that for many years. If you come across it, I highly suggest picking up a 6-pack of it because it's a really good beer. It drinks really well, nice and tasty this time of year. Anyway, Al Gattulo weighing in. Cheers, boys. Here's to great things in 2023. Can't wait for more stuff from Coastal. Al, we still got to get you some Nautical Twilight. You
do.
And
always good to hear from Al and
Tom Mulvihill Slancha. And Dave Campanelle, best winter ale is that Manskirt.
That's funny. Who did we have on the show last week?
2 weeks ago, we had Manskirt.
2 weeks ago. Who did we have on last week?
Last week we had.
It was our Christmas show. It was a Christmas show. That's right. Wow. This week's been a blur.
What's their tagline? Good beer, no pants. Isn't that it?
Good beer, no pants.
Something like that.
That's serious. That's what it is.
He's not.
Good beer.
It might be. Is it back? No, I think he's right. Good beer, no pants.
Good beer, no pants. And Al said, "Yeah, I need to drink some of that good porter stuff." Yes, you do, Al. Yes, you do. All right.
All you got to do is, was it like a Friday night? You just got to get down to Paragon and you'll find out.
I just got to take a ride up. Either I'll hook up with you on Thursday or Friday. I'll hook up with you and get you some. Anyway. So how are you fine gentlemen this evening?
Can't complain. I actually went to Sunken Silo today. I was
going to ask you how that was, but before you do, have to make this comment. Tom Mulvihill just said he's not wearing pants. There you go. So
he doesn't wear pants.
So even right now, exactly right now in Missouri, good beer, no pants is happening.
Right. So how was Sunken Silo?
Yeah, talk about Sunken Silo. How was that?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. I thought the beer.
First time you got out there, right? That was the first time you got out there.
Your first trip. You get some seafood while you were there next door?
No. I just went out there, met a buddy of mine, had a couple beers, hung out. But their Pilsner was solid. And then, they have a couple hazies on draft that were pretty good. And So I think I was most surprised is I actually really liked their triple. So they had a Belgian triple.
I'm not sure I've had that one.
It has a distinct like honey note from the malt, which might sound a little weird for a triple, but in this case, I thought it was really nice and it matched the ester phenol like profile pretty well. So it was tasty. Even though it had a little honey note, it didn't drink, too heavy or too malty. So I thought it was pretty well done on there.
It was a triple or was a? Do you say
Belgian
or double?
Belgian triple.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I mean, unless it was overpowering honey note, a little bit of a honey note in there doesn't bother me with the candy.
Yeah.
Al,
you said it was from the malt, not candy sugar, right?
I'm pretty sure it was more from the malt.
From the malt.
Yeah, certain types of Pilsner malt can give off like a honeyish note.
There you go.
So
fair enough. Al just weighed in again. He says he needs to pick up some stuff from Source either Thursday or Friday. I'll hook up with you there. And he said, for the record, he is currently wearing pants. So
okay. Well, that's.
And Dave says, "No pants, just good beers" is the slogan.
Okay.
And he said,
"Sunken." Phrased it a little bit backwards, but
yeah, sunken, good beer, no pants. I actually kind of like that a little bit better. There you go. Sunken has a good beer lineup. Slow pour pills is where it's at. There, he said. Do you have the slow pour pills?
I had the pills, but I didn't have it off the slow pour. I just had a flight, so.
Gotcha.
But what else they had? They had a winter ale. They had a like a fairly basic 5-6% stout.
Sure.
That was solid. They did, and they had an anniversary beer, which was it's interesting. It was a double IPA. It was like red, and it was kind of West Coasty. So like kind of you got a nice like bit of malt sweetness, and then a nice chunk of pine out of it.
Was that 2 Eyes?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. That's oh my god! It almost to me it was almost like almost a rye IPA.
Yeah,
bite that it had to it, right? It reminded me a little of Hot Rod.
Yeah, I could see that.
That was really, really good. I really think my favorite one may have been Smoldering Heart, though. Their Baltic Porter is so good. So good.
Not on tap, otherwise I would have told you.
Yeah, I know you love your Baltic Porters. You're with your Baltic Porters, way Johnny and I with our Schwartz beers.
Right. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's talk about let's wrap up the year. Let's get into a little bit of a discussion here. Let's see, Dave, why don't you start us out? Who went somewhere first?
Oh, geez. Well, April I was in Italy.
We did some stuff before that, other than just big trips. But Matt, you and I went up to we were up in Common Roots up in New York. Early February.
Yes, that's right. You guys went up there.
Common Roots was pretty impressive. It was both a facility, and we didn't get to drink a whole lot of their beer there, but they sent us home with some beers and sampling some of the stuff over time. I was pretty impressed with it.
It was really good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're expanding like just incredibly. They're building a whole nother building, and like they're literally having piping put in underneath the road so they can pump beer like across the street.
Oh, they're going to cross the street.
It's mind-blowingly like
you would think they would take over that parking lot down below them.
Yeah, but I'm guessing they can't do anything with the public road that's already there.
Right.
They're going so like I don't know wherever they're building though. There's a public road, so they have.
It's behind the building, but not behind the building.
Between them and the parking lot.
On the other side of the road is where it's going. So it's not like they're on 9.
Yes.
So where their other part of their other building that they're building isn't on 9 as well. It's set back from 9.
Side road, but it's still on the other side of the road.
Right. So they're
building piping underneath the road.
So they'll still brew on the brew house in the main building and send it across the street.
Very cool.
Insane. So
very, very cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was decently like Willy Wonka.
That's not coming from my mic.
No, it's not.
Not me.
I just wanted to blame you. That's it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's usually my mic picking up road noise.
So, yes, we're up there. Had that. That was a good trip. We stopped at Single Cut up in Clifton Park on the way back. The old Schmaltz brewery.
How is that new space?
It's good. I mean, it looks very similar to what Schmaltz had. I mean, they did their appointments or whatever. We did the show from there too.
We did the show from there, so yeah.
Oh,
you got to see it.
Oh, so you must have done that in April when I was.
No. We did that with you. Matt and I were up there. Yeah, that was the announcement show for Coastal Brewer.
Oh yeah. Now I remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on your way back.
Yeah.
No,
so we announced, that was why I was going there though. We announced Coastal Brewers on that show as well.
And then, who are those guys?
Some couple guys. I don't know.
I hear there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
bumbling along, trying to
bumbling along.
Just making some damn tasty beers, and they mostly wear pants.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
most of the time.
I'm actually not wearing pants.
Well, thanks for sharing.
No, I'm wearing shorts.
You're wearing shorts. I am wearing. Well, I'm not wearing jeans. I'm wearing sweatpants. Right.
I'm wearing shorts. If I spill anything on me, it'll be shorts beer.
I see where you went there.
Sorry.
We've lost half of our guests.
There'll be no more comments for the rest of the show.
Don't shorts just mean short pants, though?
Short pants. Yeah, they do.
Shorts.
So it's still pants. It's just short pants.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was short pants, and then they changed it to shorts.
Well, we can fix that at some point because I've got some big beers to drink.
There you go.
Things could get wild.
Yeah, so I'll just click your camera off. Really,
not as wild as the Cloverleaf.
No, it would be more worse than that. Believe me, trust me on that one.
Well, it depends on who you are.
Right. In any event, then Matt and I went into Brooklyn in March. We went and did we brewed with the guys from Strong Up, which we'll actually be seeing again this Friday, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and you ran into a bunch of idiots,
and we ran into a bunch of idiots at Grimm. Yeah, and then went out for the rest of the night from there.
We did drink a really good big beer that day.
We did, and it doesn't really count for the show because it's not over 12%. It is exactly 12%.
It's 12%. It's 12%. It's 12% plus. 12% and up is the actual.
Okay. Yes, because that was 1 mint, and so we all had 1 mint, but Matt went back and had something even more special.
He had 2 mint.
So the 1 mint was
twice as good as 1 mint.
1 mint was a imperial stout. I believe it was aged in rye whiskey barrels.
It was rye whiskey barrels.
You said Booker rye, right?
But then
the main one, the original one.
Oh, the main.
That was the original one. The one that I had then was aged in Booker barrels.
Booker, okay.
Which was and so it's the same exact label, but instead of being like a dark black, like for the writing and stuff, it was like a bright red.
Nice.
So it actually looks almost exactly the same too. I was just like, is this different or is it not different? And I looked at it, I'm like, no, I looked at Untapped and it had a whole separate check-in and it was a totally different thing, but it was fantastic. So it was a good beer.
Just making us jealous right at the top of the
show. Not surprising because I mean Grimm in general makes very good beer in my opinion.
I think I've only ever had one thing from them that I didn't particularly like, and it was really only because it wasn't, my favorite hop profile. It was still a fantastic beer, just not the hops I like.
Yeah.
Right. So, but so we went, and that was well. From there, we went over to Interborough and had some fun with Jesse over there for a while. Yep. But that was also the night that we realized that Spite and Dival was gone.
Oh, that's right. That was the heartbreaking night. That Spite and Dival had to come in an Amaro bar.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so excited because there was a few people we brought with us who had never been to Spite and Dival. We went introduced them to it. And we walked in and went, the fuck.
Right. Pretty much.
I'd pour a little out on the floor, but you don't want to waste big beer. So
No. And I also don't want to get the floor drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. But anyway, so that was a good night. But then, when I'm from there, you went over to April. Talk about that for a bit.
Oh, April. Yeah, no. So Carrie and I went out to Italy because my son was stationed in Italy. He's back in the States now. He's going to be stationed in South Carolina when he's done with his leave, his furlough, not furlough, but his leave right now. But we went there to visit him. We stayed in Pordenone. But so you go to Italy for wine. You go to Italy. We were right off the Prosecco trail. Oh my God, we had some damn good Prosecco. We were at Adamo winery. It was just the two of us with a tour with the great granddaughter of the founder of the winery. So that was fantastic. We had so much fun, but we did get to a couple of breweries. One of them, Matt's family's home. So one of the breweries. So where we stayed, the owners of the Airbnb, the husband, very much a beer person, wife, not at all. So when he found out we were going, I said, "Come with us." So he was just so thrilled. But as we're driving down this road, he said, "This road here, it used to be lined, with prostitutes." And he was on that road with one of his friends. And one of his friends said, he goes, "Hey, yeah, you want to pick up like one of these women?" He's like, "Oh, what do I do with them?" It's like anything, something you can't do, anything, whatever you can't do with your wife. He's like, "What, like take him to a brewery?" It's like, nice.
Right.
I'm sorry. I didn't say that. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Because we did the podcast from a burger joint there. Mm-hmm. A diaphragm burger joint. So it's made of diaphragm meat, or as we call it, skirt steak. Really, really good burgers in Italy. And, just fantastic beer they had on tap because, they're getting it from all these breweries in Europe. So we had another...
Guys, we're on the air.
We had another brewery that was like right near the border of Austria. We did hit a couple breweries while we were in Italy. But the best part about, I think, from a beer perspective, the best part of that trip was the layover we had in München. We had a 5-hour layover. So we got a train into Marienplatz and walked on over to Schneiderweiss. And what did we drink? We drank Aventinus off of tap. It's right there. The number right there. Sent a picture to John when he finally woke up and looked at it. All I got back was a big middle finger.
Yes, he did.
That was lunch. So that was a good trip.
Dave Campanelle said only Dave would take a prostitute.
It wasn't me. We're talking about someone's not paying attention.
He heard every other word and figured it out for himself.
Oh man, that's so much fun.
Was that middle? He said.
What's that middle? I have no idea what you mean by that, Dave.
Not sure.
I'm really not sure how he ever passed the bar. Sometimes
I don't think he's ever passed the bar. To be honest.
They paid somebody.
He took a prostitute to the test center.
You didn't get where I was going with that. I don't think
he's never
passed the bar. Right, exactly.
Yes,
Oh, was that the middle finger that I was holding up? Yes. Was that the middle finger bigger than what was sent to Matt when he was in Mexico?
No, it wasn't any bigger. We just sent him multiple middle fingers.
Right, this is true. And he says, "Don't expose my secrets."
Secreta. Which is, I guess, Italian for secrets.
I guess Aventinus is a little bit better than Corona out of a can. So.
Just a bit.
Probably a little bit better.
Just a bit. Just
the scenery wasn't bad, but yeah, the Corona out of can not
and
then
be
jealous of.
Then from Aventinus to and then it's like, okay, well, I started off with the Aventinus and then went to the wheat beer, the Weiss. And I was just, sitting. There was only one waitress that could serve us because she was the only one who spoke any English whatsoever. But the guy behind the bar actually looked like an Italian car salesman, believe it or not. But he spoke very good English. So he came out and asked us what we wanted to drink.
Strangely enough, the brewery picked him up on the side of the road.
It's very possible. And I think he was a lawyer. No, he wasn't a lawyer. But that was a lot of fun. So that was April. So where do we go from April? So we do anything in May?
Matt and I did.
You guys did.
I did a lot in May, actually.
Yeah. We did a lot. Well, yeah, we both did a lot of stuff in May. But...
Does her mother know?
Anyway.
Well, we went
out to CBC. We went out to Minneapolis.
Yes, there we are.
We that was a great trip. We were with a lot of great people, drinking a lot of great beer, and talking a lot of great business too, and everything else that goes along with CBC. So that's
and
that was a good trip.
You hooked up with our next guest.
Several times.
Not tonight's show, but
John was on the same plane.
John was on the same plane out and back with us. We had dinner with him on Sunday night. We were at his podcast and drinking with him on.
Wow, he admitted he knew you.
Wow,
nice.
I think he realized Matt already knew he knew me, so that's a different thing.
All right, so you rate. That's good.
Apparently,
very good.
But in any event, I digress. That was a great trip. And then Matt went up to Iceland.
Yeah, I went to this tiny little island in the middle of the Atlantic. It was kind of cool.
But it was kind of cool. But the pictures that you sent back from there probably made everybody on your feed go either one way or the other. I am never fucking going there. You can't pay me enough. I will die. And then there's people like me who are going, oh my God, I need to get there. I wish.
And I had so expensive there. Pretty crappy weather most of the time I was there. So
but you still had a great time.
I can imagine.
Imagine what those pictures would have looked like if it wasn't crappy weather. That's right.
Actually, some of those pictures are fantastic because the weather was crappy.
That's true too.
Yeah, because Matt knows how to use the environment in his photography.
He does.
The interesting thing to me was that there were 23 craft breweries in Iceland. Iceland is crazy because it is so cold there that they do not even really grow malt. They don't grow barley.
They've got to import it all, huh?
I mean, that's crazy. That's just crazy when you think about it because barley's everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's one of the hardier grains that's out there.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they do have like an expanding craft beer, segment. I mean, it's interesting too because 23 breweries is not a lot, and still there's a decent amount of island. So like certain people will go drive 4 hours to deliver a keg of beer there.
But how much of that island is either ice pack or volcano?
Yeah, but that's all. A lot of it's in the middle. So the problem is you got to drive all the way around the outside to like get.
All the towns are on the outside.
Well, it's like
a straight line. You have to do this big circuitous route. So
it's like Big Island, right? In Hawaii.
I mean, like half the population lives in Reykjavik, anyway. But But so and there's I don't know. I think 5 or 6 of the breweries are right there in Reykjavik. But like from Reykjavik to Akureyri is like
to where now?
Akureyri.
Okay, because a lot of people will know Reykjavik because it's the capital.
So Akureyri is like considered the capital of the north part of the island in a sense. It's like the biggest city in the north. So
Jon Snow is king of that. Yeah, okay.
But like it's a good 5-hour drive, and there are breweries from Reykjavik that will drive 5 hours to drop a keg off in Akureyri.
That's
like, crazy. On that note, Dave Campanella just wrote and he says he wants to know what was the best beer you had in Iceland.
That's tough because I mean it's interesting. Their beers are like. Some stuff is very different. They do a lot. Now, the one thing is with Iceland is you have very, very pure water. You have to understand that all the water they use there is glacial melt. Right. So it's soft water and it's really high quality water. So in general, the beer is very good. But they do a lot of lagers. They do a lot of wit beers because those are soft styles that you can do with that really soft water. It's interesting because like they did do some imp stouts, and the imp stouts there are totally different from here. They're very like creamy, almost milky somehow.
Really?
And they don't have as like big and aggressive and sharp a roast.
Why are they milky? Is it
that I could not figure out because
it's not lactose, right?
No, there's no lactose. It's everyone. It's the basic like where ours are just so aggressively roasty though.
Right.
I think they just don't put the same level of roast in, so you have a lot more like the middle, like crystal malts and things like that.
Maybe it's the aged
very,
rotted,
very different profile too.
Maybe it's the aged rotted shark fat that they like to eat. That they put that in there. Yeah. That's
aged,
a thing.
Rotted shark.
That is actually a thing in Iceland, and Matt can probably talk a little bit more. Did you have any of that while you were there?
I did not have any of that. No.
Did you come across it while you were there?
I'm morally opposed to it, but
yeah, of course you are. Just look at the picture behind his head right there.
Yeah, both of them, sharks everywhere.
Yeah.
But no, so I'll cheat and answer Dave's question by saying there were two particular beers that really stood out to me, and one was because I didn't expect it to find it in Iceland, and one of them was because it was very Icelandic. I went to one small little brewery that has like a pizza oven. So like I stopped there for a lunch. I had a little brick oven pizza and I ordered an IPA and I took one sip of it and I go, wait a minute, this tastes super duper familiar. And basically it tasted intensely of coconut. And I knew right away that I said, are there Sabro hops in it? And the guy said, it's an all Sabro IPA. So even in Iceland, you know, they made a hazy IPA with Sabro. So like they're not, you know, it's not like they're, you know, 10 years behind where they're trying to make, you know, a sip of sunshine as a crazy IPA. Like, no, they had a hazy IPA that was a Sabro bomb.
Wow.
Nice.
Fantastic. You know, and I was like, I've had a lot worse hazy IPAs just a couple states south of here, honestly. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then they did have, I had one beer that was called Snorri.
And it's Snorri.
And it's made with Icelandic thyme. And Icelandic thyme is different from regular thyme.
Because it's 5 hours behind everybody else.
Yeah. No, and it was like kind of like a saisonish type beer with the Arctic thyme in it. And it was pretty it was very good. It had a very unique flavor. It was not overdone. It wasn't a sledgehammer of that flavor, but it worked really well with the kind of light floral saison base. And it was, you know, that's a beer that you're really not going to have anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. So that to me was probably one of my favorite beers that I had on the trip, just because that was a very, you know, anytime you go someplace, there's going to be maybe some food or ingredients that are local that they will probably put in beer that you may or may not have in beer anywhere else. And that's,
fair enough.
You know, one of the cool things about traveling is to discover things like that, you know, for yourself. And I mean, you know, there's obviously Einstock there.
Which Brian mentions in a comment.
No,
Brian didn't mention Einstock. He said, "Is there? Do they have an ice box?"
Oh, the ice box.
Einstock makes an ice box, so that's
right,
yeah.
They do.
So I have to hate to say it though, I did not have any Einstock beer per se while I was there, because all.
But why would you? You can get it here.
Yeah, all the beers that they have there are literally the same beers that I can get in a shelf here. Now, granted, it's probably fresher there, but when you're paying like $10-11 for a pint. No, I'm gonna want to try. I want to try stuff that I've never tried. Now they also Einstock.
Not to mention, if you really want it, you could probably get it here cheaper.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's like I can literally buy that beer cheaper here. But so Einstock also has another brand though that's lager based called Viking. So I did have a couple of the Viking beers.
Okay.
I had like a lager, a Vienna lager, and I forget something.
But I love that you went to a brewery named Snorri, because being
that's not the name of the brewery. That's the name of the beer.
Oh, the beer. That's right. Because what was his name? Snorri Sturluson wrote the Eddas.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and if you're a Tolkien fan like I am, the names of all the dwarves in The Hobbit come from Snorri Sturluson's older Edda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the name of the brewery was Borg Brughus.
Borg Brughus.
And it's Snorri an R10, which is the spiced herbed beer.
Herbed? Are you British?
Herbed.
Herbed. But it's made with Icelandic organic Arctic thyme.
So that's really cool.
Icelandic Arctic thyme.
Organic.
Icelandic or organic Arctic thyme. There you go.
With no pants.
Yeah.
With no pants. On that note, I'm opening my second beer. I don't know if you guys are ready.
I'm into my second already. The 750's gone.
I can see that. What is your second beer there, Samurai?
Well, I decided to actually put a beer into the glass where the logo is from.
Oh, look at that.
So that's a Barreled Souls. And I'm going with okay, so John's is up there. So John's going with a
No, that's yours.
Fine. That's mine. Well, okay, so it's a Southern Grist. They brewed it with Southern Grist. Did I tell you it was Southern Grist?
Well, the way you wrote it, it looked like that was the name of it. So.
I never told you the name of it. It's called Tame the Wild Cosmos. This is an imperial stout with salted caramel, cashews, cheesecake, and cacao nibs. So one would think this would be really sweet. It's really not all that sweet. And I'm digging this. This is so John knows I went up to Barrel Souls, brought a whole bunch of stuff back. We'll get to that trip eventually.
It's better.
There you go.
Yeah.
Quick typing there. Good job.
Yeah, I try.
And I brought a bunch of stuff back from Barrel Souls, and a lot of what I brought back I wasn't overly fond of. By the way, I do have a bottle of the coconut phones I did bring back. I didn't realize that because we shared that at the last bottle share. But this is one I brought back, and I really did expect this to be quite sweet. This is not all that sweet. It's really this is good. This is good. That was a good trip.
It is.
But we're not to that part of 2022 yet, so we'll get to that.
And I just opened my second beer, which is stout.
I recognize that can.
It's Anthora 3.
Yeah, three.
So it's a double milk stout conditioned on coffee, raw cacao, and Vietnamese cinnamon.
Very nice.
Vietnamese cinnamon.
Vietnamese cinnamon.
Yes.
For my third beer, I in the second beer.
Wait a second, we missed one, John.
For my second beer,
here's John bringing up the lightweight beers.
I was going to say his first beer was the lowest alcohol we're drinking.
Oh no, I'm up to 11% on this one. So
okay.
There
we go.
It's a holiday beer going up. I'm opening up the Mad Elf.
Oh, the cherry flavored rocket fuel.
Gotta go Mad Elf. Now, in all fairness, remember I did have a Mad Elf. It was the first holiday beer. No, the first holiday beer this year I had. It's back like a couple months ago in November. We kicked off like that. It was the first November show.
Right.
And it was last year's Mad Elf I had. And it really, really mellowed out. Now, I bought a 6 this year. They have not had it yet. So this is the first sip of this year's Mad Elf that I'm going to have. So I will let you know if it is.
No open flames.
Right.
Oh, well.
It's not as mellow as the one I had from last year, but it's not as rocket fuel as it normally is. So there.
Really, that's interesting. Maybe they've toned down a little bit.
Very possible.
Usually, for me, Mad Elf has to have about 75 years on it for me to be able to try.
No, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Yeah, it's
not.
Last year's the one I drank. I'm gonna sit on several of the rest of these until next year. But
with the neck up or the
upside down. Just hold it upside down. I'm gonna hold it the whole year. I'm just gonna walk around. Right.
I was just trying to figure out how you're gonna sit on it.
I see where you're going. Well, of course.
So actually, I mean, I like to joke around.
Dave, sideways.
Yeah. Roll it around. So one of Montecarri's trips to Nashville, on our way back, we stopped at Trogs, and we had a flight of vintage Mad Elf. Those were actually very, very enjoyable. I'll have to say that. It was like one of the few times I actually really enjoyed drinking Mad Elf. It was really quite good.
You know, I do have to say it's not, again, I know I said it a minute ago, but it's definitely not as rocket fuel as it normally is. It's not as smooth as the one that that I aged for a year.
A year. He sat on it for a year. It was sideways.
There you go. And there you go. And Parzival on our YouTube channel just is writing in. Cheers from Germany. Cheers. Cheers, Parzival.
Prost.
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 Prost. And he said I have a Waltenbarger Barak Dunkel. Very nice.
Lovely.
Oh yeah,
how is that drinking? It sounds delicious right now. I could go for one of those.
And now, so 2024, probably going back to Munich to actually visit Munich rather than just doing a hit and run into Schneiderweiss. We want to do Munich, Vienna, and Prague in one trip over like 10 days. So
nice.
So Parzival, you'll have to let me know in that area, other than the obvious stops, you know, those little secret hidden places, those up and coming breweries, you know, let me know where I need to hit when I get there.
I definitely got to get over to Munich myself. I want to spend some time There may or may not be a few things popping up, or it might be some trips.
There may be an announcement later this year, but John and I have to kind of vet some stuff first.
We might be making that all happen. It's from Weltenberg Abbey in Germany. Yes, of course. I've heard of the Weltenberg Abbey in Germany. I've not had the distinct pleasure of having anything, but
I don't know. I've never seen anything of theirs over here.
But I definitely want to get over to Munich and spend some time in Bavaria, up and around in Bavaria too.
Oh, you like the pretzels,
of course,
and the donuts.
And there's a town that my family's from in northern Bavaria,
where the Fledungs are from.
Yeah, it's the name of the town is spelled Fladungen.
Fledungen.
Yes, that's correct.
Fladungen or Fledungen?
Fladungen.
Fledungen.
Fladungen.
I'm so making that a verb.
I am so Fledungen right now.
That's definitely going
to Let's get Fledungen.
Oh, I Fledungen myself again.
There you go. Real Benedict monks brew this beer. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that is really cool, because we talk a lot of times about Trappist ales, and Matt could probably go another 3 hours just expounding on Trappist ales. And
sure.
Yeah, so we're not going to set him off, but Benedictine ales, that's something you don't hear about.
No, that's that brings up something we need to dive into a little bit more.
Yeah, when we're at a later date, we will definitely get into that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Parzival, send us into the website your some info, or just even on the YouTube channel, right in, or the Facebook page, right in. We'll get back to you. Definitely want to let you know what we have in store or what's possibly coming up, and get some information from you as well.
Yeah, I would really love to explore some of those beers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we were up to May in 2022.
May in 2022. Then, of course, we had Matt gets back from Iceland. The next day, we had the kickoff for Coastal Brewworks at the Cloverleaf.
Wait a second. We skipped something because wasn't the beer dinner before that?
Beer dinner was last year.
Oh, that was. It was 2021, wasn't it? Yep. It was Cloverleaf's first beer dinner. So we had the kickoff. Oh God, we had so much fun there. And it was fun. The thing about it is, I got to play the host of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, John, Matt, and Jim did what they're supposed to do. They're out there doing their kickoff. They're representing the brewery. Mm-hmm. So John was actually a guest on the show that day. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of guest spots in there.
We did.
Our ex-producer, Brian, was one of them.
Our ex-producer.
Oh, he's going to be ex-producer for a while. We had Chuck Aaron as one of the guest spots on there.
And he'll be coming up February 7th. He's slated to be on the show again.
I love Chuck. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And if I continue to pound these beers, it'll be not love Chuck, up Chuck. But then
I called it, but you said it.
And then we also had Brolero was one of the guest spots on there.
Brolero was on, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Brolero. So the one of the sales guys from Bolero Snort, Adrian, great guy, a lot of fun. I think he got dropped on his head as a child, but that's okay.
And a couple times as an adult too.
And probably yesterday as well.
But we had some fun times just last week with Adrian and Scott and the whole crew from Bolero. Matt and I did anyway.
Great guys. As much as we make fun of them on the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome guys!
We love these guys.
So then, all right. Did any of us do anything in June? What happened in June, July?
June, July. No, I'm not up until August.
Yeah, August. You went to.
Went to Asheville for someone's a milestone birthday. I think she turned 30, maybe
32.
No, milestones. That'd be like 30.
Well, it's a milestone, right? It's the next year.
I hate to interject, but I'm going to rewind just a touch.
Yeah, take us back. Let's not jump too far in.
So I did want to mention that when we went down to AC,
Oh, right,
oh
right,
yeah,
right.
AC Beer. Yes.
So when we went down to AC Beer Fest, I had never been to the Seed.
Oh yes.
John, I don't know if you had ever been to the Seed either.
I had not.
Yeah, no, that was his first.
So the Seed opened. I guess it had been open a little more than a year at that point.
Yeah, they opened in late 2020 or early 2021, right?
Early 2021, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure they had their first year anniversary beer out before we showed up, though. So.
Yeah, early 2021. So
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so, yeah.
So long story short, though, is they're I got to give it to them. They're doing some really cool stuff down there.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Really solid beers. The lagers were super crisp. The hoppy stuff was good. The dark stuff was excellent. Every style they did was very well done, and I enjoyed all their beer.
Oh, they nail their saisons too.
Yeah.
Nail them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they do some lightly, not really wild ale, but like kind of throw it in the barrel and let it get a little bit funky, kind of farmhouse style ales, and they're light and delicious, and they have a lot of complexity to them, and they're just awesome beers.
Awesome. And the best thing to do is go there, drink a whole lot of stuff there, and go next door and throw some axes.
Yeah,
or go to the other place next door and have
go next door and drink lots of other stuff. That's
spirits.
Oh yeah, drink the spirits, then go throw some axes.
Yeah,
little water. Yeah. And which one? Yeah. So that was AC Beer Fest was good.
Yeah,
that was our. I mean, that was our first AC Beer Fest as Coastal Brew Works. Obviously not.
Yeah.
I just like that it was the first 2 beers we made, and it was like, oh, what beers are we going to bring? Well, probably bring the 2 beers we have. And that's the easiest decision we ever have to deal with AC Beer.
Easiest one.
From now on, it's going to be we have to hem and haw over figuring out.
Right. Well, we can also bring 4 beers too. We don't need to bring 2, but yeah. In fact, the picture here, the picture of Matt in this was actually at AC Beer Fest. This is probably about 5 years ago.
There's nothing on the screen that I can see.
Nothing on the screen you can see.
So you're seeing his picture.
Yeah.
The picture in that,
where it looks like he's being teabagged by a wreath.
Yeah. I got like
the 2 bells as a hat. Yeah.
Right, those are bells. Okay. Wrong vowel. Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, Vanna.
Yeah, I believe that's.
You're a letter off there, Dave. A letter off.
I'm actually pretty sure that I have to go find the picture, but I'm pretty sure that's a picture of myself, Matt, Gene, and Brolero. Actually.
Oh, could be. Or Wells, one of them.
Swells.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But in any event, so that brings us up to August. Go ahead, and Dave, you were down in Asheville.
We went to the destination was Asheville. We stopped at Richmond first, right? So we talked about Hardywood. That's when we went to Hardywood.
Right.
So many fantastic breweries in Richmond. Mm-hmm. I went to ZZQ Barbecue. I mean, if you take a mortgage out on your house, it's worth it for the brisket.
Sure.
I mean, the place is not cheap, but that brisket is absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, so good. So from there we went, we obviously drank around Richmond, crashed there that night. On the way out on for lunch, of course, hit Foothills on the way out. And we're lucky because we hit not the main brewery, but we hit one of the tap rooms, the brew pub, and they actually did have sexual chocolate on tap because they had an event. They brought a keg in. They hadn't kicked the keg, so they still had it on tap because they usually don't have it on tap there. So sitting in their brew pub.
Had it on tap?
Sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate.
Yeah. But
was
we...
as smooth as you expected it to be?
It's smooth. But man, so yeah, we went out to Asheville. My God, the breweries there. Barami, I think, was the surprise hit for us. Mm-hmm. We expected Dissolver and Burial to be fantastic. Highline, oh my God, Highline was really, really good. And then we went out to pretty much Disneyland for beer nerds, and that's Sierra Nevada space out there. This is just it's redunculous. What they have built out there, redunculous. And a word of advice to anybody who goes there: find out. I think it's green and gold, whatever colors on the board. Because there's the Sierra Nevadas that you can get any time of the year, anywhere. And then there's the ones that are specific to that place. Find out which ones those are. Go with those. Are you going to hit a home run every time? No, because it's like any other place. These are experimental. Another hint when you go is when you first walk in, you're in the front where the restaurant is. The food is phenomenal. Put your name in. Put your name in. It's going to take 2 hours to get a seat. Don't worry about it. You can squeeze your way into the bar and get something there, or you can do something else. You can walk upstairs to the upstairs bar. It was a very, very busy day, and there's hardly anybody there. We got online. We were like number 5 and 6 online. You get your beer. You go out to the balcony and you watch people in like that playground in the back there where they're serving beer out of like this one little truck out there. There's all kinds of food out there, snacks, so many places to sit. It's just a beautiful, beautiful space that they've forged themselves. So if you get out there, I highly recommend getting out to Sierra Nevada. Yeah. We took a little side trip into South Carolina, hit a little brewery out there. I can't remember the name right now. It's named after one of the hiking trails in the area, believe it or not. They were doing some good stuff. I was really surprised. This was it was in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. But yeah, no, that was a fun trip.
There you go.
A lot of fun trip. A lot of great beer. Brought some back. Mm-hmm. Still have a couple of bottles. I got one bottle of Barami left, and I think I got something from Dissolver as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it?
And then
Swamp Rabbit, is it?
Swamp Rabbit, that's the one. Oh man, Swamp Rabbit, fun place, great people there. If you get a chance, there's no way that you're just driving through Travelers Rest. It's not a thing.
You're not driving through. You're going to.
Yeah, you're going
I don't care what road I'm on. If I'm driving down the road and I see someone called Swamp Rabbit Brewing, I'm stopping.
Oh hell yeah!
Not stopping.
That is a fantastic name. And seriously,
that's in South Carolina. In North Carolina, there's Duck Rabbit. So, I mean.
And there's Duck Rabbit.
So in Georgia, there's Swamp Duck.
Yep. Swamp Duck Rabbit.
Right.
Manbear.
The three of them really should do a collab, right?
Exactly.
Actually, one of my favorite drinking glasses I have, there was a thing. So beer trading back in the day got to the point where it was really just whales. People were just trading whales. Like there was that ISO FT, and it just got so disgusting.
Right. Yeah, nobody needed to trade lagers or West Coast IPAs. That wasn't a thing. It was
So the pushback on that was something called a pay it forward trade, a beer it forward. They're called BIFs.
Beer it forward, yeah.
Yeah, the beer it forwards were fantastic because it was back to what trading was. I'm from this region, I can get these beers. You're from that region, you can get these beers. And you get a whole bunch of people into these kind of trades where you'd have the person organizing it, and they would set it up that this person would send to this person, this person would send to this person, this person would send to this person. And there was either an ounce minimum maximum or a dollar min max. There was usually some sort of swag that was dedicated to go into it, either they just said just some swag, or it was glassware, or it was a hat, a shirt, or whatever.
Okay.
And usually everybody would throw in a throw-in. And you never wanted to be...
That's a lot better than throwing in a pullout.
That's what she said.
I
told you we were going to do
pulling out, throw in.
But, so you never want to be the first person to get a drop. Because what would wind up happening...
It's going to get bigger and bigger and better and better.
Because everyone wanted to outdo each other. You want to be the last person to get their drop. And I remember I was in one beer at Ford. My throw-in was actually a Cantillon. And everyone was like, you son of a bitch. It's like, this thing's going to get insane now. But one of the beer at Fords I was in, what I got in my drop from the swag was a hand-painted glass from Duck Rabbit with 4 of their logos hand-painted around the snifter.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, it's a beautiful glass. And you know where it is, John?
Where it's in storage.
It's in a box.
It's in a box of storage. Nice.
Very, very well protected.
Of course. So, all right. So getting us in, not a lot went on in September, if I recall, right? None of us really went near. I mean, we released, back in July, we released Awkward Tan Lines too. But
yeah,
September, we released Rising Tide.
Rising Tide, yes. I still have a can of that.
I have a couple.
Yeah.
But in any event, there's an empty one.
Right there. Yeah, I see that.
Right there.
There you go.
Anyway. October, beginning of October, I went out to Pittsburgh.
You were out in Pittsburgh while I was in New Hampshire.
Yes, that's correct. Had some, what's that?
But I went up to Vermont. So.
And you went to Vermont? Yeah, we were in 3 different states.
Yeah, we were all over the place.
We were.
I went through Vermont to get to New Hampshire.
There you go. You don't have to,
Yeah, no, yes, you do.
Well, if you're going to go to, if you're going to hit that small brewery that some people visit once in a while.
Well, the thing is, if you want to have like lunch and a couple of good beers at a place in the capital of Vermont, it's like 1, 2, 3 penny tap room in Montpelier. Yes, we had to stop there, and there's just this podunk fucking brewery way up in
the middle of nowhere. You got to dirt road to get to the damn
It's a dirt road. I think we went through like 6 sets of shocks to get there. It's called
try going there. Try going there in February.
On a farm though.
Hold on. In February.
On a hill.
In February when it's 60 something degrees out. You know what that means for the dirt road? Mud. That's what that means.
But we're of course we're talking about Hill Farmstead Brewing. But I love Hill Farmstead Brewing, and up in that region, there's only one possible place that you can go after Hill Farmstead Brewing that you're going to enjoy just as much, and that's heading east. Heading east. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's like there's only one place you're going to go to that you're going to enjoy just as much.
Whoa! Yeah, apparently something's quite interesting on gaming tonight.
Anyway, go ahead.
But you head east and you get into Littleton, New Hampshire, and you get to this little place right on the river. It used to be a mill. It's called Shilling, because they're two entirely so different from each other, and they're both so damn good at what they do. And to do both those breweries in one day, that is a treat and a half. I mean, that is one of the best beer. So this year was one of the best. Well, 2 of my best beer days ever.
Bless you.
Bless you, Matt. So, but 2 of my best beer days ever happened this year. Drinking Aventinus from Tap 6 in München. And Hill Farmstead and Shilling in one day. I mean, it's hard to beat those 2 experiences.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. When I was at Pittsburgh,
we're still in Vermont here.
Oh, wait. So Matt is still. So I'll finish the rest of my tawdry trip after that, because after that it just got.
Well, then we're not in Vermont anymore.
Yeah,
I know, because now we're in New Hampshire.
No, then we can move on to a different state, but we're still in Vermont. So we're going to talk about Vermont, right?
But the rest of my trip, the highlight of the rest of my trip was, and they were on the show 4 weeks ago, Volger.
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago was Volger Brewing. That was the highlight of the rest of the trip from a beer standpoint. So now, Matt.
Well, what I'd like to add, though, just to Vermont, and so I was up near Waterbury, and obviously Pro Pig is Pro Pig, but Pro Pig was closed on Tuesday. So I could not. I was in Waterbury, stayed overnight, and I could not go to Pro Pig. But I did.
That must have been painful.
Yeah, but it was a lot less painful when I did go to Freak Folk. Freak Folk beer is phenomenal.
Really
phenomenal.
Now, this is probably something that's not on a lot of people's radar. How new are they?
I believe they're just over a year old, or a little over a year and a half old.
And they're in Waterbury.
They're down like the street that's across the street from Pro Pig.
Yeah,
they're like a 200-foot walk down the street.
Damn.
You could if it wasn't for a corner, you would be able to see Pro Pig from Freak Folk.
Well, let's just blow that building up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they.
So that we can get a clean shot from one to the other.
But I mean, I've had a bunch of freak folk this past year at bottle shares and stuff, and they do a lot of like wild air. Oh, sorry, not wild air. That's the brewery.
Hey, freshie.
Wild ales.
Wild ales.
With light sours, that kind of deal. But when I went there, they had some clean beers too.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So I had a wild ale, I had a hoppy beer, and I had a coffee stout, and the coffee stout was phenomenal.
It's no nautical twilight, but still.
Yeah. Well, it's a stout, so it's a different style.
Oh, stout, right? It's stout.
Yeah, it was a higher ABV and a bit more aggressive in roast, but it was just delectable.
More aggressive in roast. Nautical twilight is pretty damn aggressive in roast, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, but it's still pretty smooth.
Very, very smooth, aggressive in roast, pretty smooth. Yeah. Approachable from a point.
If you are in that area and if you are going to Pro Peg or anything like that, don't sleep on Freak Folk. Pop across and jump in there and have a beer.
Yeah, we've got to do a dedicated Vermont trip where it's Burlington and Waterbury.
Yeah.
And a little bit, got to get down to Hermit Thrush.
Yeah. Hermit Thrush is all the way down to Brattleboro, though. It's pretty south. But I mean, you could do Burlington, Waterbury, then you could go up to Stowe and go over to Hill Farmstead, and it's not all you start off far. So.
Hit Waterbury first, run over, hit Lawson's, then run up. Mm-hmm. If you want to get to the west side, and hit Fiddlehead. Mm-hmm. If you feel like hitting Magic Ass Hat, that's up to you.
Well, they're done.
No, they're done. They don't even exist anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that.
The beer exists because it's being contract brewed. The brewery's gone.
So Dave, the last time I was in Burlington, I was in a hotel literally across the street from Magic Hat.
Yeah.
And the only brewery I did not go to in Burlington was Magic Hat. I could have literally walked across the street. Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. I'm going to try not to celebrate the news.
That was also unfortunately 3 months before Foam opened, though. So.
There you go. Well, on that note, I was in Asbury Park for SantaCon. There was a bunch of freak folk there that day.
So Foam, when we got into Vermont, I had to stop for gas.
Always.
Yeah, right. I had to stop, gas the car up. And we stopped at this place, and there was like a country store, because it's Vermont. You gas up, country store, blah, blah, blah. So we walk in, and we're now concentrating like, Vermont cheese. So Carrie's looking at the Vermont cheese, and she realized I'm completely glazed over looking off into the distance because there's a beer cooler.
Uh-huh.
And it's full of Alchemist. It's full of foam.
It's full of foam.
Yes, it's full of foam. It's just, you open the door and you just get rolled over by foam. We came with a whole bunch of foam brewing from that, because what I first saw was like all the 4-packs. And I'm like, I can't buy all this stuff. And then I just looked to the left and look at all the singles.
Singles, absolutely.
God, then
Dave Campanell just posted.
You can buy all the 4-packs of singles.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did. I think we got like 2 or 3 4-packs of singles.
Dave Campanell said Magic Hat is only in Rochester, New York now. I'll give you all 3 guesses. What brewery is contract brewing Magic Hat?
In Rochester.
In Rochester, New York.
Hill Farmstead is my first.
Come on, we all drank this beer years ago. We can admit it. I've admitted it on the show.
Genesee?
There you go.
Wow.
I did not all drink that years ago.
I drank Jenny Cream. You didn't. Well, then again,
because you're not as old as we are.
This is true. Yeah. When I was drinking Jenny Cream, you were in grammar school. So
yes,
we had real crap beer when I was.
Jenny Cream. Is it not the only beer where they seal the tanks to not gas off the stuff that takes like cream corn?
They want it to taste like cream corn.
Yeah, because they want it to taste like cream corn.
Right. Yep.
So they seal the tank to make sure they get that chemical in there.
Anyway, all right. So on that note, my Pittsburgh trip.
Oh, yes, right. John went to Pittsburgh.
There you go. No, I hit just a few things. Obviously,
and John completely fucked the John Flaydung over under Giants rant because we knew he would not be watching the game. We tried to throw a few other things in there that didn't involve the Giants, and he still became all unders on that game.
And I watched the game. I was watching the Steelers game and then looking at my phone at the Giants game, and then watching.
He couldn't comment on Facebook because he was doing this. And it's funny because the last person who commented is one of the co-leaders of that particular over under that's going on right now. Him and James.
There you go. and Matt, you recused yourself, right? You're not in that, right?
No, I'm not. No. I felt like I had too much insider information.
What's great is once everybody,
I could directly affect things because if we were out at a beer fest on a Saturday night and I just kept feeding John beers, I could probably.
But the best part about that
where things
is Matt will not give any insider information until all the bets are in. All the bets are in, and Matt will be like, "Yeah, he won't be watching the game today." And it was like, "God damn it, I want to change my like."
And Dave Campanell said that's 100% correct. He fucked us all. There you go. That week.
It was
so. But anyway, so we get out there. Went out there 4 days. We went out Saturday to Tuesday. Actually but we went to Hofbrau. Had to stop at Hofbrau. You know, you can't go out there with not stopping at Hofbrau. Had some food. Couple good beers. Hit up a bunch of breweries. I mean, obviously went to the Steelers game. Went on Sunday rather. Went to the.
And they were playing.
They were playing, right? Yeah, they're playing the Jets.
Who were they playing?
They're playing the Jets.
And Jess's favorite team is
the Jets.
Because you just changed one letter in her name.
What's that?
Did you wear a Steelers jersey?
I wore a Steelers.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course I did. But in any event, yeah. And then we went to a Pirates game on Monday night. Saw Albert Pujols hit his last ever home run. 703, I believe it was. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, hit up Trace Brewing, talked to the guys there. At some point over the winter, the guys from Trace will be coming on. In fact,
the night they opened.
You were. They'll be coming on the show. We may actually go out and do a collab with them. Talking to the guys at Dancing Gnome, same thing.
Oh, you're getting them on the show?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Because Dave says he owns every jersey but a Giants jersey.
Well, here's the thing.
Not quite true.
Because the over-under has been so often all unders. Everyone's questioning John's Giant fandom, claiming that he's no longer a Giants fan because he never watches the damn
There's
games.
only one team that I do not have a jersey for. And both people on this show can say what it is.
It's the one that is not actually a logo, it's a rating.
It's a rating, right?
It's 1 star.
Right, exactly.
And that would be the Cowboys.
Cowboys, right. But most teams I own one jersey for. There are a handful of teams I own a couple or 2 or 3. Jets I actually have about 4 or 5. I have 18 Giants jerseys, Dave. So don't say I don't own a Giants jersey.
He just doesn't watch the games, Dave.
And Dave's the one questioning the fandom.
Yes, he is. Every friggin' week he's questioning the fandom, but there is no shame in owning a Bates Cowboy jersey.
Yeah, well, you know what? I always said if I could get a Starbucks. Where did that come from? Hello?
Yes. No, Karen, you don't like coffee. You like dessert.
If I could get a Starbucks or a Dorset. Or no, fuck that. No.
Who?
Chuck Howley. If I could get one of those jerseys, then I would get it.
How about Dak?
Nah.
No. What about the Jawa? The fucking Jawa looking motherfucker.
Fucking Jawa the Hutt.
Quote you.
Jabba the Hutt. Jawa
no, I'm sorry.
I believe you mean Ewok is what you're looking
for. Ewok looking motherfucker. That's
Ewok looking motherfucker. Yeah,
that's the direct.
Yeah, he's not a Jawa. He's an Ewok.
That's
that guy. Yeah, no, I would sooner buy a Dak jersey than I would buy a. Yeah, you want me to feed you? I'll feed you. Come here, Zeke. Come here. Yeah.
But no, seriously, Bates was one of my favorite players that they ever
had. I'd even get a Ditka. I get a Reeves.
What?
Ditka.
Oh,
Ditka, Ditka, Ditka.
I'd get a Hurricane Ditka jersey.
Hurricane Ditka.
I'm not sure he played for the Cowboys.
But,
you know what? Right. We need to rewind because what was it? July, I took my son out to
Utah. Utah. Before we rewind to Utah.
Finish Pittsburgh.
We finished Pittsburgh, and let's pour our third beers. So
our third beers.
So, I'll finish Pittsburgh while I get my beer out. Dave, you get yours. Matt, you get yours.
Mine's right here.
So's mine.
I need to wash my glass out a little bit. I need to get the cashew flavor. I swear, the cashew flavor in this. Oh, it's not even empty.
You might want to finish it.
I will because John and I decided we're going to pour our third beers together.
Exactly. So, Dave, why don't you show what your third beer is, and I'll show what my third beer is.
So we're going to do it on like 3 or.
Right, yeah.
Well, 1 second. Is it the normal 3 or is it the
1, 2, and then 3? Oh.
Okay, so is it the Lethal Weapon 3?
It's the Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, it's the Lethal Weapon. Okay.
Right, okay.
So
1, 2, 3.
3.
There it is. All right, there we go.
So you see the rose?
Mm-hmm.
Rose goes in the front. Rose goes in the front sport.
Now, hold on. Hold yours up again.
Yours is different than mine.
Mine is different than yours because mine is last year's.
Yours is last year's.
Mine is a year old.
So Rose goes in the front sport. Where does that come? Oh, no. Rose goes in the front big guy.
Rose goes in the front big guy. Yeah, what is that?
Oh, you know what that is.
I do know what it is, but I can't think of it right now.
Holy crap, this smells like booze.
That would be Bull Durham.
Rose goes in the front. Yeah. Right.
Rose goes in the front, big guy, and he smacks him on the ass.
Mm-hmm. And he can actually breathe through his eyelids like the lava lizards of the Galapagos.
Yes, just like Fernando Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando.
Look at this pretty beer.
All right, this one's mine is 14.2. I up my game a bit.
Oh, you. So John drank the lowest ABV. Matt is drinking the highest ABV.
And we're right in the middle.
And I've stuck right in the middle there, above 10% all night. Matt, so Johnny and I are drinking the Black Ops Special Edition Barrel Age version in 4 Roses barrels.
So what's the ABV on that?
Well, here's
it's 17.
No.
This is Dave's.
It's 11.5.
That's Dave's. It's 11.5.
But
however,
John's,
mine is 12.4 because it's last year's.
So Matt, what are you drinking there?
I'm drinking Life Cycles, which is a barley wine aged in bourbon barrels by Masthead Brewing.
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Masthead makes some delicious stuff.
Yes. And according to John, Masthead?
Masthead's in Cleveland.
Yep.
Oh, I'm thinking of Mass Landing.
No, Masthead's in Cleveland.
No, Masthead in Cleveland.
Masthead's amazing. Some of the small batch stuff I had at the brewery in Cleveland is amazing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty dark barley wine right there.
Right.
That's a damn dark. That is really dark for barley wine.
I mean, it's not black. It's still brown, but it is.
I'm almost upset you're having this on the show right now and didn't save it and bring it over here, but that's all right.
I got other barley wines, so I'm not too worried about it.
No, but I love Masthead. That's why I said that. So.
I haven't had any Masthead.
Was that a Tavour thing?
I was told that we were drinking big beer, so I want to make sure.
We are drinking big beers.
Anyway, there we go. And hold on. I put it in proper glassware.
You put it in proper glassware.
Ooh.
Oh, that is a Brooklyn. That's very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. We got another comment there, John.
I put it in a glass for a brewery that's known for making high ABV beer.
They are, and I've just been using the same goddamn glass and just rinsing it out every time. So
there we go. Edward Meyer. Happy holidays, fellas. Happy holidays.
Ed. There's my favorite rock climber.
Happy holidays, Ed.
Happy holidays, Ed.
There you go.
He is happily retired, this man.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
There you go.
Oh my God, you can really. Okay, so I'm glad I got a 4-pack of this because the other 3 I'm going to lay down.
Yeah, lay it down because I did the same thing last year. This is super insanely smooth right now.
And right now, this one,
there's no heat to this at all. I'd be, if you told me this, if I didn't know this was a 12.4% or Brooklyn Black Ops, and you told me it was, I'm like, yeah, you're out. You're maybe 8% tops. Maybe.
There's that thing when you say Brooklyn Black Ops, and the first thing that comes to my brain is heat and booze.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Even this one,
there's a little bit of nice booze to this, but there's no heat at all.
No, if you let them sit down and age and smooth out a little, those beers.
But Matt, I gotta say, this is this year's.
Mm.
You can seriously taste the barrel.
Yeah.
It's not boozy. This is actually. It's really smooth. I'm really looking forward to opening this next year to see what happens, because this barrel is going to really integrate into this beer, become a nice part of it. I'm getting a lot of oak out of it.
Right. Nice.
But you're also getting that little bit of rye that you're going to get from Four Roses, because Four Roses tends to be a little higher in rye content than some of the ones in the on the trail, but still staying within the tolerance of a bourbon. I'm enjoying this, and I know that I get some age on this. I'm going to enjoy this a hell of a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lovely beer.
This is delicious. I'm loving the fact that I sat on this for a whole year and didn't have it during the summer.
On the side or standing up?
I sat. No, sideways. Always laid down the side. Always on the side.
Yeah.
Hold on. Brian Alt just wants to say, and it's what my shirt says, Merry New Year!
Merry New Year!
I am Najee Boko, exchange student from Cameroon.
So we'll have to
one of my top 3 favorite Christmas movies.
Trading Spaces.
Spaces is on
that's something else entirely.
That's a building show on the Home Improvement Network or whatever the hell it is.
It's that Die Hard, and what's the third one?
A Christmas Story.
Good enough.
My number 1 is still Scrooged.
Scrooge is my number 4, and if you have to round up my number 5, Christmas
National Lampoon.
Yeah,
Christmas Vacation. So my number 1, Scrooge. Number 2 would be probably Christmas Story, and then Lampoon. But Die Hard's in there.
What's going on? What is with the peanut gallery yelling?
There's definitely a video game happening back there. That's what that is.
Oh yeah. So I got a text. I'm like, hey, dude.
It's like hurts more when standing up. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Depends on how much lube you got there, Brian.
All right, this is taking a bad turn. All right, so you went to Utah.
Yes. Well, we flew into Utah.
How are your arms?
They're tired. But we drove.
Wait. Are they allowed to have big beer in Utah? Isn't that one of the states where they can't have big beer?
No, they can because some of them can't. You went to Cannes. You went to Cannes as well. They have some of their stuff in cans.
You went to Cannes. You went to Cannes.
You went to somehow or another managed to.
Epic is in Utah, but they also have the brewery in Denver because they can't have big beers in Utah. So they brew the big beers in Denver.
So that's where big Baptista comes from.
Yeah, Baptists. So I had 2 Baptists yesterday. They would go.
Oh my God, that's one of my favorite adjunct stouts series.
We had that at the Cloverleaf
that day with Baptist in the rye.
Ollie poured it.
Ollie poured it for us over there last time.
Yeah, Baptist in the rye and the toasted coconut.
Oh, that was so good. They got the peanut butter one now. I gotta find that one because I love peanut butter stouts, especially if you're gonna boost the heck. Oh, I might throw some peanut butter and chocolate in it. I'm all about that. But no, so we went up. So my younger son graduated, and now I mentioned both my sons on the program, so I can say hi, Olivia, because that's my daughter. You
better mention your daughter. So.
Yeah, because 5 days ago was her birthday. But for his high school graduation, I said, I'm not going to get you anything for your graduation. We're going to go on a trip, right? Build memories, not get things. Things don't last, right? So I said, where do you want to go? He wanted to go, to his credit, he wanted to go to Yellowstone. Right? So like, okay, we're going to Yellowstone. So we flew to Salt Lake, drove to Idaho. We stayed in Idaho. We went up to Yellowstone. We went into. It's not that funny. It's really not that funny.
It's like a soundtrack in the background.
I know. We got a laugh track going on back there. A very ill-timed laugh track at that, but
that's what makes it funny.
But so we went up into go up to Montana because you go to West Yellowstone, got to Yellowstone, had a great time in Yellowstone. Oh my God! Before that whole super volcano explodes, get to Yellowstone. It is amazing. We're so excited when we saw our first bison. So excited when we saw our second bison. No one laughs at your jokes, Brian.
Well, first of all, here was the joke. He said, "So you're saying you like it more in the can?"
Yes, like I said,
and right about the time he said that is when the laugh happened. So he says, "Someone is laughing at my jokes."
Yeah, only one person who actually
just the one.
Yeah, just the one. So we also went into the Grand Tetons. By the time you get to the Grand Tetons, you're kind of like, oh, look, it's another bison. it's just, herds and herds of bison. We had a great time. Did hit some really nice breweries. So I got my son who's not old enough to drink yet. Mm-hmm. So I had to hit breweries that were, also serve food. Mm-hmm. There's one that he actually did, he was really good because I wanted to go there. It was Jim Dandy Brewing. That was in Pocatello, Idaho. But Citizen 33 Brewing in Triggs.
We talked about it on the show. We talked about all this because you did the show from out there.
Oh, we did the show from out there. Uh-huh. But the Citizen 33, the food is so damn good. Is our second day in Grand Teton. On the way back, he's like, mm-hmm. We're going to Citizen 33 for dinner, right? Because we'd been there the day before. Right. He wanted to go back the next day. I'm like, hell yeah, we are, because the beer is also really good. And it's funny because the brewmaster there and the owner is actually from Abita. And when they first told me this, in my brain, I'm trying to stay in the region. I'm thinking, okay, vowel ending with an A. I'm thinking Uinta, because that would make more sense to me. That was from Uinta. And then it finally dawned, like, holy shit, they said Abita. Mm-hmm. This guy came up from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Well, it's technically not New Orleans, across Lake Pontchartrain from New Orleans.
Right.
To open this brew pub. The food's so good. The beer's so damn good. They do some phenomenal stuff there. So we hit some.
Did he have a lot of Cajun stuff on the menu?
He had he didn't completely overload it with Cajun because he's also wanted to make sure that he, used a lot of the local ingredients.
Right. Was Purple Haze running through his veins?
not a lot of gators out there.
No. Excuse me while I kiss this guy, right?
Excuse me while I kiss this guy. Yes, exactly.
One of us. Yeah. But no, it was I managed to, despite having my 18-year-old son with me, hit some pretty decent breweries while I was out there. So that was a damn good trip.
There he goes. Dave Campanelle said Purple Haze was in his lungs. Yeah, pretty much.
No edibles. I don't smoke.
No, yeah. Anyway, all right. So then moving forward, I mean, none of us really did much in November except this show, and we met up at on Black Friday at Carton. Well, actually, Dave, you and I met up at Kane, and then went to Carton and met up with Matt.
Met with Kane. Oh God, yeah. And what the hell was going on at Carton?
Well, we did have that little project with bricks that came to fruition.
Well, I was going to talk about a couple of those. Yeah, I was just saying as far as the three of us goes, but. Yeah, back in October, we brewed a collab with Brick City. We brewed.
I've heard of them.
Brick City, and yeah, they're in little something, Little Silver. No, Little Falls. No,
Little Tokyo.
Little Ferry. New Jersey.
Little Ferry. That's right.
Yeah, and we brewed Turning of the Tide.
I had that.
You did.
That was a very.
I happen to have my stunt can right here.
There you go.
That was an extremely well brewed beer.
Yep, that was a good beer. And then
Dennis.
Yes. And then we brewed a collab with Icarus, which just got released last week.
Jason,
called Ounces of Coastal Feathers. There it is, right there.
Thank you, Vanna. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen that logo. Oh, it's on that shirt. It's on that shirt. Right? Oh, and John's hat.
And my hat, right? Exactly. And the glass right over here. There you
go.
Most of my stunt beer too.
And the glass right there. There you go.
Glass right there.
Yeah, that glass right there. Yeah.
This glass right there.
Anyway, so we did those. But when we went to Carton on
Black Friday,
we met up with Al and of course Augie. And,
and that was Epitome.
It was Epitome, yeah, exactly.
Also, that sour mushroom beer.
Oh my God, that mushroom beer was fantastic.
That was really effing good.
That was as much as I love Epitome. And that if you're not going
Epitome was also very good. But.
If you're not going to do the metal voice, it's Epitome. It's only Epitome if you do the metal voice.
Yeah.
But as much as I love Epitome, my favorite beer I drank that day was that mushroom sour.
The mushroom sour was delicious.
It sounds. Anybody who's listening going, mushroom sour.
It was fantastic.
This is sour edamame. It was just a loveliness to this beer.
For those who aren't biologists, so the name of the beer was My Silly Yum. So MYSILLYYUM. But the little root-like, hair-like structures in mushrooms are called mycelium.
Mycelium.
Yeah. So
it gives you an idea how much of an
extraordinarily clever name. So
it gives you an idea how much of a nerd Augie Carton is.
Exactly.
That's just once.
You think the three of us are? Forget it.
Yeah, no.
He outdoes us.
Major fucking nerd.
All right. So before we get to
okay. Yeah. So he's absolutely Doug's right. I missed
something. Got to throw one more thing as far as wrapping up the year, if you will. And that would be Doug saying, Dave, what about that Czech lager in Maine? You've got brought tears to your eyes.
So my trip to Vermont, New Hampshire, and I said the highlight after Schilling was Vulgar. I forgot that Carrie and I took a side trip. We went east. We wound up at this one brewery. I can't remember the name of it. They had really good crawlers. The beer was actually pretty good. I wish I could remember the name of it.
Mazer's Bakery?
No. They don't brew beer.
But they had good crawlers. I'm just saying.
They're damn good crawlers. But no, we went. So we head out to Maine, southeastern Maine. And actually, this bottle came from that trip. So we did hit Barrel Souls, but the first thing we hit was a Czech lager only brewery,
and not Cohesion.
Cohesion that's in Denver.
No, because that's out in Denver. That's a hell of a spot.
You know that there are now 2 Czech lager only breweries in the U.S.
And Human Robot is not Czech lager only, but they brew a lot of Czech lagers.
They got phenomenal Czech lager. I was just reminded that the brewery that had the phenomenal crawlers was called Northwoods. It's hilarious. As Carrie won one of the shirts there until she realized that it was actually a fly fishing lure was there. Oh, she's like, no, I don't want that now.
Still cool. I would have bought it.
Oh, still kind of cool. But so we wound up. The reason we took the side trip is that Sacred Profane had not been open that long. We decided to take a trip out there, and mostly because Doug Smith had brought them up. No, we went out there. They had,
and it was odd that Doug was the one that commented about that. Czech
so he's bringing that up. They have 2 beers. A Czech Light, a Czech Dark. Dos. When I took a sip, and we talk about tears in my eyes, the first sip of the Czech Light. Those of us who have been in craft beer and imported beer for a long time remember what Pilsner Urquell used to be. It is still a damn good beer. It's really a good beer. What it used to be is something super special. And the first sip of the Czech Light that Sacred Profane brews was so reminiscent of that beer. That's what made my eyes roll up. I'm like, this is a special beer. And then I ordered the dark. This is an even more special beer. When I was there, they had not yet started canning. Otherwise, I probably would have filled the whole back of the car with cans of this stuff. It's not a tap room. It's a tank room. The tanks are over top of the taps. These are lager tanks, and it's if you're going to go to Maine, stop at Sacred Profane. 10 minutes up the road is Barreled Souls. After drinking at Sacred Profane, went to Barreled Souls. Had quite a few beers there to the point where I just, told Kara, you're driving. And I think I slept most of the ride back.
That's pretty funny.
No, I don't think. I know I slept most of the ride back. And people who know me know that I can handle quite a bit of beer in one sitting. For me to have completely passed out after that trip, because I was at Barreled Souls, I didn't really hold back. I knew I had a driver. And they had some stuff there. And eventually that'll segue into something.
Eventually.
When we get there. In this show. So what else did we do this year? We've done... just recently we had Lager Day.
Yeah, we did. Well, before you get there, though, I just have...
Before we go there...
I have one question for you. So it's my good old trusty computer again, taking its time. There we go.
And John has not frozen at all during the show. In the pre-show, John was frozen, and the crossed arms one was the best one.
That was pretty good because it just stayed there for like
10 minutes.
10 minutes at least.
Do it this way. We were going to have him change his name from Jersey Johnny to Elsa.
There you go. But in any event, hold on.
John, we have to fill some space while John stalls to get up what he...
Well, no, because it's a funny joke, and it would have been funnier if it could have just happened right away and not like we had to stall for me to be able to upload this. And...
As big of a joke as the Giants possibly making the playoffs this coming week.
So I'll talk about Mexico though. If you want to.
Oh God, yeah. So Matt goes down to Mexico.
No.
No.
And you'll get away from the joke.
That was a whole lot of ends. Okay, so John's still trying to save the timing of this joke.
I just figured that
I mean, the joke's shit now anyway.
It's gone. And John just froze. Just on top.
Pilot it on, buddy.
That is awesome.
That's funnier than the joke was going to be, so I think we should just move on.
So it's fine. No, the joke's here now. So I was going to say.
Oh, the joke's here.
So now your favorite Czech lager of all time is Pilsner Urquell.
No,
no.
Historically speaking,
right? Historically speaking, right?
Yes.
So I hear they're coming out with it again, and they're rebranding Pilsner Urquell. There you go.
Very nice.
Very nice. Build up for that.
Well, no,
that was
if my computer, long way. If my computer actually wasn't a piece of shit and worked as quick as normally it should, it would have been done 10 seconds after he said Pilsner Urquell the first time.
Cheers to all you Apple users out there.
That's one of them.
My Mac works really good. I never have any issues.
My PC works extremely well too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was probably the longest we've ever gone for a badum-cha.
Anyway, all right. So, Matt, really quick, take us through Mexico.
So it's going to be really quick because there's not much. But,
he just whined about a fucking beach drinking.
Well, no, so
moderately okay craft beer.
I was out at a resort for a week, and the only beer they had was Corona in cans. So, like, obviously not thrilling. But I did go back. I had 2 nights in the mainland in Playa del Carmen. Actually, yeah. Because I went to dive some of the cenotes and do all.
Oh my god, that is okay. You just made me jealous again. I would love.
Oh, it's so
dive
cool.
a cenote.
It's so crazy cool.
So those people who don't know what cenote is. There's a lot of limestone in Mexico, so a lot of it. There's a lot of voids underneath the surface of Mexico that are filled with water. So there's these water dives that you can do in these caves. And the thing about the cenotes is that a lot of the indigenous people would sacrifice to the gods, right? So a lot of these cenotes, there's like bones down there, right?
Yeah, not the ones that they take tourists and dive.
No, because tourists will do stupid ass shit to this stuff.
There are actually a lot of fossils and stuff in them, which is kind of
cool. Wow, cool.
Because it's limestone, so like if it fractures, usually if you have like an imprint of a trilobite or like a shell or something, where if it's going to fracture, it's going to fracture on the fault line where that imprint was. So okay. You'll have on the bottom, you'll have where some of the rubble is, and there'll be like little, fossils sitting there. And you're not allowed to touch anything and everything, but it's just cool to see.
Rubble, like Barney rubble?
Rubble, yeah.
Barney rubble.
Barney rubble, yeah. Pebbles is Flintstone, but Bam Bam rubble.
Bam Bam rubble, yeah.
The beer
Pebbles was a Flintstone.
The beer improved a little bit when I got to the mainland. So first of all, I had to take a taxi up to the ferry. I take the ferry across from the mainland. I walk 2 blocks. My hotel is right by the ferry dock. And I got in right as the second half of the Argentina semifinal game. Argentina-Croatia.
Right. So I was so rooting for Croatia.
And I ran into the hotel, and they're like, my room isn't ready. And I'm like, is that bar have the game on it, like right here? And they're like, yes. I'm like, I don't care. I'll be back when the game's over. And they were like, outstanding. And I went, and like, they still didn't have any good beer at that bar, but it was 2 for 1. So I paid like $3 for like 2 Tecates or something while I watched soccer. So
Tecate is not entirely a suck ass beer.
No, it's not awful.
It's all right. It's a great.
I'm like, things are improving a little bit because it's not Corona. But then I figured out that there is a craft brewery in Playa del Carmen.
So this is where John and I start sending Matt middle fingers because he's in warmth. Yeah. There's palm trees, there's sand, and he's drinking craft beer.
Yes.
And I sent him like 3 middle fingers, and he sends me 3 question marks.
So
he doesn't know that John has told me what's going on.
There looking I'm on the interwebs in the hotel with the Wi-Fi, and I'm looking at shit and like
that's stuff that Al Gore invented. Yeah.
The interwebs.
And so basically, I figured out that there's like about a mile, a little over a mile, like a mile and a third away is this craft brewery, but they have a long concourse that's like a walking thing only.
A concourse is a place where you walk?
Yes. Yeah, well, I don't know what a playa. It's
a playa.
Or a calle. That's what it is.
Okay, so a playa is a bowl here in the U.S. where all these like UGG.
Well, anyway,
and
UGGs going
and Esplanade.
So like, I finished watching soccer.
Wait, Matt.
Yeah.
Admire the word.
An Esplanade.
Esplanade.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. It's pretty touristy and crappy though. I don't know if it qualifies for Esplanade.
Oh, it's not okay.
maybe Esplanadito at best, but
is it a Camino?
It'd be more like a Camino.
Okay, we'll go with Camino.
Was it an El Camino?
No, those are way too damn cool.
But so anyway, I get in, I watch soccer, I finally get in my hotel room. I take a shower. I set some of my dive stuff up for the next day. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go check out the town because I haven't been here in 10 years. And I stayed in a much different part of town the last time. So I walked the 1.3 miles to Chela de Playa. I don't know if this will even read it, but there we go.
We can see that. Chela de Playa.
Cerveceria
Independiente.
So.
Independent craft brewery.
And I mean, the beer was not amazing.
The craft's not in that. It's just independent.
I'm giving the independent brewery. Yeah.
But they brewed it there, so it's a craft brewery. It's a small brewery.
How was it?
It was fairly unimpressive, but after drinking Corona for a week, it was fucking awesome. So, I mean, the bar had been set so low. I mean, they had a porter. If I drank it here, I probably would have been like,
well, the bar set so low.
I was like, malt. This is amazing.
Was the bar set so damn low that even Dave Campanile could have passed it?
Ooh. If he stopped at the side of the road and brought the hooker, yes.
There you go. Gene Lynch wants to know. He says, "You guys still going?"
No, we're done for the night. Gene, just log off.
So I think they had real quick though. They had 10 beers on tap. I tried 8. I think of the 10. I had 2 flights of 4. I mean, they were clean. There was nothing wrong with the beers. I would just say that they were very mild compared to beers. Like they had a New England IPA, and it was like, I'm pretty sure there's some hops in this. Like it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very hoppy.
Well, the question is, do you think it was their craft or their inability to get the proper ingredients?
That's what I would. I don't know. That's the thing. But that crossed my mind. It's maybe they just don't have the access to the great hops down here. I don't know.
Well, because you also got to remember in Mexico there were only 2 brewery interests that pretty much own every liquor license in the country. They became then 1. Yeah. And so it makes it so I'm really impressed that you found a craft brewery, because that's a rarity in Mexico, because they can't find tap space because the monopoly that is held by Grupo Modelo
and Pacifico.
Well, I thought is the Pacifico part of Grupo Modelo?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the 2, and if you want to get a liquor license in Mexico, these 2 interests have bought them all up. You need to buy from them.
You're in Playa del Carmen, where it's a very touristy area. You get a lot of cruise ships to stop and stuff. So if there's going to be a craft brewery, this is the place that it's probably going to end up being.
Right, and they're not going to get their beer into any damn bar, because that crap, their liquor license is predicated on the fact. After all the beers I've drank, I can still use the word predicated. I love that. Predicated on the fact that you have to pour only the beer that you've bought that liquor license from, because these 2 interests buy up all the liquor licenses.
Well, the next night, around the corner from my hotel was a beer garden that was called like Hane's Beer Garden. There's some German guy just has a beer garden. So one is I had some really, really good Dunkelweizen from actual Germany there, which I thought was hilarious.
So what's the German word for fuck you all? Because I gotta love that.
Yeah. But then
isn't that a drug? I think. Fuck you all.
Fuck you all. They only had like 2 beers on tap, but they had a case with lots of bottles. So they had lots of German beer.
Nice.
And they had a couple so they had some beer that was like a small brand from Baja. And I ordered it, and then when I looked in the Untapped and everything, it's like, it's distributed by Modelo or one of the ones. But it's like it's a smaller, really cheesy white labels with writing on it, very unprofessional looking. But that beer was actually that was probably the best Mexican beer I had there.
There you go.
But is that what has to happen in Mexico? That if you are a small brewery, you've got to sign on.
I guess you get sold through one of the big dudes anyway. So it kind of sucks. But at the same time, I sat in a little place in Playa del Carmen that's literally on the complete other ocean from Baja in Mexico, and had their beer. So that's kind of cool.
The other ocean.
Baja's Pacific, so yeah.
Be a little more specific, if you would.
Well, it's the Caribbean Sea, but it's not even the Atlantic. It's technically the Caribbean Sea.
Right.
Which is an arm of the Atlantic, so it counts.
There you go. Anyway. All right. Awesome. Before we get to the top 3s and wrap up the show,
we're going to wrap up?
Really quick.
I thought we're going all night.
There you go.
Because if we don't go all night,
I got 2 boxes from Divorce.
He got Divorce.
Well, bring some over here because I'm done. Yeah.
Because if we don't go all night, Matt's going to have to deal with his family who just all landed.
There you go.
So we'd be doing him a favor by.
Well, I have a very good dinner waiting for me downstairs, so I'd like to eat. You guys can keep going all you want.
The hell with your stomach.
Anyway, all right. So listen, before we get to the top 3,
you still can't find that 8-ounce beer.
Before we get to the top 3s.
Matt buried the freaking 8-ounce beer that he wants to drink on the show, and it's there somewhere. He may find it.
He'll find it.
It's a rye barrel aged stout. You said, Matt?
It's a rye barrel aged stout with vanilla beans.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
You know what? Don't find it. Find it later.
I can dome this. Barley wine aged in peach brandy and maple bourbon barrels with cinnamon, Madagascar.
No.
No, you got to say
any. I have to be on that one.
That sounds fucking awful.
Anyway, all right. So before we get to the top threes, while Matt's looking at his Tavor box, Dave, any shows from 2022 jump out at you as some of your favorites?
We had some damn good.
I mean, I'm gonna give a rundown of all the shows, but any that jump out at you as
well, let's do the rundown because that might jog my memory a little bit better.
All right, I'll do the rundown. All right, we started the first show of the year. We'll start with the first show. We had Joe DiCalzo from Brick City. Look at that.
And the great thing about that show is someone.
Let's not talk about all of them because it'll take forever.
But. I know, but what I loved about that show is someone from Brick City who will go unnameless. Gabe, thank you. Hi. Had said you will never get anybody from Bricks to be on the show.
And then Joe.
And I said, and I looked at him and said,
but I knew that was wrong. Gabe said what he wanted to.
And I looked at Gabe and went, you don't know John. and John delivered. And I loved the hell out of that show because it was just like, yeah, fuck you, Gabe. Yeah. And I love Gabe, but fuck you, Gabe.
There you go. So we had Joe DiCalzo on the show. We had Efren was on the show. And he's going to come back on the show soon, too.
Oh, my God. Efren.
What did I say?
I'm not going to talk about every damn show.
Let's not talk about every show. Right?
It's one of he's going to be.
It was a great show. It was a good show.
It was a great show. He's a special man.
Josh Schaefer from Facebook.
There it is. Matt found it.
Joe David from Descendants Brewing was on. Deb Serta from Jester King Brewing down in Texas.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. But what she found the Pink Boot Society down there?
Pink Boots says she's on the board of the Pink Boot Society down there.
Yes.
We did the Coastal Brewers launch show from New York. Jeff Greco and Greg Florence from Heavy Reel were on the show. Tony Drury, obviously, probably his
Tony.
His Tony was on for the third time at that point.
John Star Tony. I don't remember
Tony Drury. Yeah. John Starodumsky was on. Steve Bauer from Ghost Hawk Brewing. Nick Jorlee and Bert Rolling were on with Matt and I while Dave was flying to, Italy. Germany, right?
And then Italy.
Tom was on Tom Mulvihill was on the show for the 6th time. Doug Phillips was on.
The Beer Whisperer. I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. Doug Phillips was on the show while they're this time for Wild Air Brewing.
This was while I was on my way to Utah.
While you were on, no. This was while you were still in Italy.
Oh, still in Italy.
Then we did the show with you in Italy with Fabio and Paolo.
Oh, that was so much fun. One of my favorite of all the shows from 2022 that stand out. That for me was the one. Part of it was I'm in Italy, but part of it because those two glorious idiots, just.
Glorious idiots.
Oh, they made that show so much.
You describe some of us though too.
So. This is true. Actually, I refer to you most of you guys as glorious motherfuckers, but that's okay.
Yeah. Alex Buterman and Jason Saller from Strong Rope, who Matt and I are going to be by this Friday.
That doesn't suck right there.
Right.
It's vintage. It's vintage from 2022.
Well, still doing a rundown.
First year they made this. So.
Chris Weisner on the show.
I've heard of that.
Rob Tarves from Our Town Brewing in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
How did we score him?
I was out at Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right.
We did the launch show, the Coastal Launch Show from Cloverleaf.
I thought I was excellent on that show.
Fred Matry from Sunken Silo, where Matt just was today, was on the show.
Yep.
Tom Mulvihill and John Starodumsky were both on the show. Tom's 7th appearance, John's 2nd.
Yeah.
Tom Mulvihill was on his 8th appearance. Al Gattulo was on his 2nd appearance. Anthony Jenkins from Arbiter Brewing in Minneapolis was on with Matt and I.
That was one of my favorites because, it was interesting to not just come on and have a really lighthearted bullshit talk, but like, you know, we really talked about some of the shit that went down in Minneapolis, and you know, he talked about starting like the society with the black brewers and everything like that.
Black brewers.
Like, you know, beer is an inclusive thing.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's and that's the way I've always looked at it. And it was just, it's cool to see people doing stuff like that, and it's cool to give them another channel to get messages like that.
Absolutely.
And it's as awesome as it was that I was on my way someplace else. I really feel that I missed out on something on that show.
That was a good show.
You know, but it had a much heavier tone than our normal shows, though.
Yeah, and then
but it was appropriate.
And as heavy as I am, I try not to be all that heavy.
There you go. Then we had Tara.
That might be a New Year's resolution. Anyway, go ahead.
We had Tara Nurin on the show. We had Rick Reed. That was a good show. Rick Reed for the second time. We had Greg Zaccardi on the show. Larry Goldstein from Spider Bite.
Not Larry. He's one of my faves.
We had we had Brian Boak on the show at the end of our Tailgate Foods show. We had the 100th show we did with Matt and Tom and Tony Drury and Augie. We're all on the show.
Okay, that's two now. You can't say it again.
I won't say it again.
Because there's another show that's coming up where he did appear.
This is true. Rick Cipriani from Corkworks Brewing. We had John Starodumsky we had Tony Drury on the show for his 4th appearance. Yep. We had John Starodumsky on the show for his 3rd appearance. Yep. We had Heidi Hassing on the show and Eric from Angry Eric.
Yep. That was a fun show.
Oh, that was fun. Chris Alepa from Five Dimes, Ryan Cook and Melissa Bates Cook from 27A Brewing.
And that's where we had we're not going to mention him again.
We will mention, he popped on for them, right?
That was a lot of fun because the owner of 27A kind of models himself after Carton Brewing.
And he never met this person.
And so we introduced him. So that was a good moment for us because it was a lot of fun to do that.
There you go. Chris Alepa from Five Dimes Brewing was on the show.
Like Mr. Orange.
Mr. Orange. We'll just call him Mr. Orange. Wait a second. Wait a second. Are you going Reservoir Dogs there, calling him Mr. Orange?
Orange, there you go.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Tom Mulville on the show for the 9th time.
Who the fuck is this Tom?
I don't know. Jason Harrington and Damon Lewis from Vulgar Brewing are on the show.
That was fun.
Alexis Deegan on the show from Brewery Strong, and
that was a cool show.
She's in the Philippines right now.
What did she do? What'd she do?
Vacation. She went to the Philippines vacation.
She pearl diving?
I don't know. Joe Fisher from Manskirt.
I've met that guy.
We had Tony Drury on the show for the 5th time last week, and we're at the show. We're at there. You go. So,
okay, so Tom.
So what are some of the standouts for you?
So wait a second. So Tom's putting up.
Tom just said. Tom Mulville, that drunken bastard.
Calling Joe Fisher that drunken bastard is kind of rude. It might be accurate, but it's kind of rude.
I'm fairly certain Tom is referring to himself.
He chooses not
or
to
one of us. One of the others.
He does choose to not wear pants.
Yeah. It's completely meant to be that way. It's not like he just lost his pants.
Exactly. So, any standouts? Matt's standout was the Anthony Jennings show. Which we got Samurai. Any standouts for you?
I commented during your whole rundown
as the Italian job. The
Italian job, yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, mine. I gotta be honest with you. I echo Matt's words on the Anthony Jennings show. The Italy show was fun, but I gotta be honest with you. There's something special about every show we do. And I'm not just blowing smoke up the 3 of our asses. There's something special about every show we do.
But then,
it really is. So.
There's a few that only eats edibles anyway. So
true.
I don't
very
smoke.
True.
There were some very special shows. The Tara Nurin show, because during that show I ordered the book and I've read the book that she wrote, and I think everybody who watches should order the book to understand that. When you look at craft beer, you look at guys with beards, right? That is the whole thing about craft beer. These guys with beards.
What are you trying to say?
But beer, yeah, I need to shave. But beer, there's no beer without women, right? Yeah. And that was the point of this show. That's the point of the book. Today, the beer world is very much male dominated. Rightfully or not rightfully so, wrongfully so. So I keep saying show because we are on a show. But when you read this book,
wrongfully show. That's what you're saying.
Well, you even mentioned it before. There's a brewery called Alewife. There's a reason why the term alewife or alewives exists.
Yeah.
And if you want to know why it exists, read the book.
Read a book. Read a book. We posted it when she was on the show. We'll post it again. If you haven't read it, if you're a reader and you're interested in it, we'll post a link on our Facebook page. Go to it, order the book. It's not expensive. Order the book, read it. It's good. It's a good read, and you'll be better for it.
And it's not. And the thing is, even though it is a treatise on why there's no beer without women, it's not entirely a feminist.
But she have it as an audiobook for those who are not a reader.
Right, there you go. We can do that too. You know what? The three of us will actually do the audio version of it.
Yeah.
After drinking about
reader.
After drinking five,
I can see Tara saying right now, no,
Tara, we'll drink it we'll read it only after drinking 5 beers over 12%.
Right, exactly.
We'll slur every damn word in it. No, it deserves better than us.
It deserves better.
It deserves better.
Anyway, Tom Mobile just said, it's always fun. You guys are informative, entertaining, and incredibly knowledgeable. Well,
okay, so that last part.
I take most of the credit for that, but sure.
I'm shocked.
So John and I are the entertaining ones. Matt might be the knowledgeable one.
There you go. There's the laugh track. There you go.
Yeah, we just got the laugh track.
All right. Anyway, all right, guys. It's time for the top 3 list.
Oh my God, I've got to read.
You got to read the top 3. The top
where
3
are my
list.
cheaters? I got cheaters. Oh, I got 3 cheaters.
You really have cheaters?
These things.
No, I know what cheaters are. You really have them.
Right, I'm stretching it out. We're talking about the big beers now.
Okay, so
here we go.
Matt's ready to go. He's ready to go.
So top 3 list tonight is top 3 favorite big beers, 12% and up.
Matt, you've already stretched out.
I'm gonna preface this by saying I did my list based on beers I drank in the last year.
We all did.
Okay,
it's top 3 3 beers, favorite beers, 12% up in the last year. I didn't put that on there, but in the last year, I have our all times, the 3 of us from last year. I'll just read them later, but right now it's top 3 favorite beers, 12% up.
Hey, John, are we allowed to go to drinking a 4th beer tonight?
Knock yourself out. I'm fine with this.
Knock yourself out.
This will knock me out if I drink a 4th. Mm-hmm. Nah, I might say because
all right. So
BS. Go ahead.
Starting at number 3, from a brewery that I'm sure no one has ever heard of.
No one.
Kane? Yeah.
Where are they from?
They're from this little, I don't know, town in New Jersey, Ocean or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's like 8 minutes from John.
Yeah, I mean they've even won like a bunch of gold medals at GABF for this beer called Night.
Every now and then.
But
they've been around for what?
What? 11 years. They had their 11 years.
11 years and 5 months, 4 months right now.
I thought it was like at least more than 5. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so they did release a special like one-off beer, and when I first heard about it, I was very reserved about it because it has a big name attached to it, and I know a lot about beer, and just because it has the name doesn't mean that it's actually going to be a good beer. But it is a version of their Ante, a Night Tentall Dawns, which is their big bourbon barrel-aged stout, but it's a double barrel version, and they age it first in Willet and Eagle Rare barrels, and then they take
Eagle Rare,
and then they put it in old Rip Van Winkle barrels. And again, everyone goes nuts and Pappy and old Van Winkle and yeah, oh my God. But it's like, it's a good bourbon. It's a very overpriced bourbon. I was a little reserved on how it was going to be, but I will say in my mind, it was one of the best versions of Ante I've had. Wow, and that's saying something because that is a very good beer that has won.
And that's his number 3, folks.
That's his number 3.
But
a Pepe Van Winkle aged Antiad.
Yeah, well, old 10-year-old
Van Winkle. Pappy doesn't start until you get to 18, but
yeah,
right. Old Van Winkle is 10.
Old, right?
So, but it did have, like I put it akin to when you have some of the single barrel variants of Bourbon County. Instead of just having this amorphous bourbon flavor, it has a much more pronounced profile. And I found, a really nice sweet bourbon note with a good amount of barrel char and a lot of wood spice to it. And it had a lot of depth and it was very good, and so I'm glad I was glad that it wasn't just, a hypey beer because of the name or whatever. It was a very good beer.
Because this particular beer, you've got to get it online. You have got to fight for it. You've got to really, really refresh.
Well, that one, I think they just did a small brewery only release, and like you didn't show up.
And I don't think that one was actually on the
that one was not. No, that was a brewery only thing.
That was a small surprise release that they had a very limited supply of it.
Yeah,
I think it was 1 bottle per person, 1 or 2 bottle per person limit, and I was very happy.
Is it a timing thing?
I'm happy one of my friends got it, and I got to try it at a share.
I was wondering if it was a timing thing or a Matt.
Yeah, no. I didn't even know it was there. He didn't know it was there, and he's deeper seated there than I am. So, and he didn't know it, so he just happened to be at the right bottle share at the right time. So
there you go.
Anyway, number 2.
That's number 3. Sorry. So number 2. Oh, I'm sorry. And that Antied was 14.4%, just in case you're scoring at home. All right.
If you're keeping score, yes.
Coming in at number 2, and one of my perennial favorites, honestly, in my mind, probably the best barrel-aged stout that there is out there on the market, is 2021 Beer Barrel Time by Side Project, coming in at 15%.
Side Project is a side project of what brewery?
Side Project.
Well, Side Project is not a part of another brewery, but it's people that did work at Perennial, and they literally formed an entire different company, and they pretty much do mostly barrel-aged beers. So they do a lot of sours, and they do a lot of big stouts.
Yeah, because Perennial doesn't make any good beer whatsoever.
Not at all.
Perennial makes good beer. But so, and I don't want to go through this whole list because the list is ridiculous. But what they basically do is they take a bunch of their different stouts. So they have 17 different stout recipes that they barrel age.
Wow.
And they taste.
Okay, so most breweries will have like 1, 2, 3 that they're going to either adjunct, barrel age, or do whatever to, right? So 17?
Well, that's total what they have. That doesn't mean they're all in that beer, but what they do is they continually taste different barrels of different stouts and different barrel-aged stouts throughout the year, and they save certain ones and they create Beer Barrel Time out of it. And it's all it is a bourbon barrel-aged stout, or sometimes I guess there's a little bit of rye whiskey in it, but mostly it's bourbon. But the sheer complexity that you get out of it, the sheer amount of vanillin, the sheer amount of dark chocolate, the sheer amount of coconut, all these.
Where's the coconut coming from? Is it adjunct? Is it coming from where's it coming from?
These are literally coming just from barrel.
Just to the barrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean it's just the depth to it is phenomenal. And along with deep barrel notes, deep bourbon, deep oak spice, a little bit of char. It has so much depth to it. 2021 was, I'd say, as good as the last couple of years have been. It's always a phenomenal beer. So that's my number 2.
What was the percentage on it?
That's 15%.
That's over 12.
There you go. And number 1.
That would be more then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And if I'm reading this right, it is a mix of primarily 4 different stouts that were aged in a combination of Eagle Rare, Blanton's, Willet, Four Roses, small batch, Weller 12, and Jim Beam barrels, aged between 14 to 42 months.
You just hit 3 of my favorite bourbons right there. Yeah.
Jim Beam and what else?
But
everyone knows Blanton's is my favorite.
Oh yeah, I had a bunch of Blantons last weekend too.
Oh.
Yeah. And by the way, Tom Mulvihill just said wow to that. Yeah.
Also,
and before he said a rare serious moment for me. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
So I thought I was entirely out of Blanton's because I killed the bottle. I found a couple of my flasks, and one of the flasks is full of Blanton's.
There you go. You're
so I'm not out of Blanton's just yet.
Okay. All right, what's your number one? Because it's been 20 minutes since Matt started his number 3.
Year to year.
And John's hungry.
I'm fucking starving. Come on.
Wait, well then shut up and let me go. No, so year to year BBT has to be my number one. You know,
BBT.
Beer Barrel Time is the name of the beer from Side Project.
From Side Project, right?
It's the beer I've just been talking about.
Right. Yeah.
But overall,
you were speaking.
I'm recapping.
He's recapping
because of this, because of the beer that's number one, and the beer that is number one may honestly be the best beer that I've had, and that's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot because
it is. So it is from Mortalis Brewing. It clocks in at 14%, and it is called Double Barrel Pear Lido. So Lido is an imperial stout that is basically made like an almond cookie.
Oh.
And it is one of the base beer is phenomenal. It is such a good beer. But this version of it, and they have a couple different they have a couple different barrel aged versions of it. So this one is a blend of Weller and Buffalo Trace barrel finished Lido that is then aged in a pear.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I just went to Lido Shuffle. Sorry.
I know you did.
Yeah. That's where I'm going.
So, and then they actually put real almond cookies in the mash for this. And I shit you not when I say, like, when you think of Christmas, when you think of like those Italian almond cookies, this stout tastes like those fucking almond cookies.
When you say almond cookies to me, though, I think more of the Chinese almond cookies.
No. Well, they're similar actually, but the Italian almond cookies they're a lot more like the Chinese almond cookies you get. They have the same idea to the cheesy, cookie or whatever. But yeah, I mean it's let's put it this way. It's like drinking a bourbon barrel aged stout from a brewery that's trying, made a stout and they threw it in a bourbon barrel for 3 months and then out it came versus anteed, right? That's the difference. That's the difference between Chinese almond cookies, Chinese restaurant almond cookies.
I've had a couple of the barrel aged versions of the beer, and I honestly didn't like them.
Really?
The apple brandy one I didn't like at all because I feel like the apple brandy like obliterated a lot of the almond cookie flavor, which is the whole point of the beer. This beer,
this was pear.
Well, it was bourbon and then pear brandy finished.
Yeah.
This beer had all of the lovely, amazing cookie flavor, plus the bourbon, plus the pear.
It didn't override anything else.
It was balanced. You got everything that they said was in that beer in the most beautiful way, and the flavors were fairly novel. Because I mean, how many Italian almond cookie imperial stouts have you had with bourbon and pear brandy?
None.
So it blew my mind because it was a flavor combination I'd never had, and it was also just extraordinarily well done. So that beer was phenomenal. And
I've only had a couple Mortalis. One of them was Extreme Beer Fest, a couple of years ago, and I didn't particularly appreciate that one. Apparently, so
Dave, I'll save Sisyphus for you.
Oh God, yeah.
When's our next bottle shift? It's walnuts, vanilla, and marshmallow.
Oh yeah, we need.
Nice.
Let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Dave. What are yours? You're up.
So I do got to give a nod to Kane. Kane, when they do their big stouts or the big barley wines or anything big, They do tend to nail it. They tend to dial it in. I've got a couple, like Stacking Cask is a really good one. But
can we talk for a second though? Because that's the thing. I probably said it even on the show before. I said Kane is a very good brewery, but the one thing that I give them super big props for is their blending.
Yes.
And tasting barrels and blending is a completely separate skill set.
They are.
And they do that very well. And I think that's why a lot of their barrel-aged beers are as good as they are.
And very well said, because one of my honorable mentions is bourbon triple barrel wooden cleat. This clocks it at 13.2.
That's the base one.
There you go. There's the base. But when you put that into bourbon barrels, oh my God, that is a beautiful thing. I've got a lot of things listed here, but I'm going to, because I know John is hungry as fuck right now.
It wouldn't, if I didn't smell the food, I wouldn't be as hungry as I am.
So we're going to go back to
eat, man. Who cares?
I will bring it up to you.
Getting it delivered to me is the
there you go.
Yeah, can't you just do the
DoorDash?
Oh,
DoorDash.
Oh yeah.
You're going to get nut punched for that. See, I'm going to go back to our trip to Asheville.
You want me to text Jess right now and tell her to bring it?
Oh, if you want to be on our good side, I wouldn't do that. So I'm going to go back to our Asheville trip. One of my surprise faves in Richmond, our first night down there, was Strange Ways. An Ape Armageddon Virginia Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout by Strange Ways. Clocked in at 12.2. Okay, so the brewery itself is a lot of fun. There is some really weird taxidermy on the walls. There is a raccoon doing this.
What's the name of the brewery?
Strange Ways.
Strange Ways, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to throw them in at number 3 for that particular beer. Ape Armageddon Virginia Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout. That was a lot of fun, that beer. But we're going to really ramp it up for number 2. And before we came on the air, Matt said this is one of the most underrated breweries in the country, and I agree with him. And it's Central Waters. Central Waters does phenomenal beer.
Central Waters is amazing. I love Central Waters.
Oh, they're absolutely amazing. And they're geez, I can't read what I fucking wrote here, but they got this reserve bourbon pecan Kringle stout that comes in a 12.3. It doesn't drink like a 12.3. The pecan in this, pecan, however you say it, doesn't matter. This is a phenomenal beer. If you can get your hands on anything by Central Waters, do so. They're underrated. They make some great stuff, but the particular big beer was one of my favorites that they've ever put out. It is so damn good.
What's the ABV on it?
That is a 12.3.
Okay.
But we talked earlier about my trip to Barreled Souls and how I slept the whole ride back to the Airbnb because I was just destroyed. And the beer that absolutely destroyed me, coming at 13.9%, Barton's Bourbon Blonde on Blonde by Barreled Souls, is a barley wine, barrel-aged barley wine. I could drink this. I'm not going to say all day because I'll pass out before the day's end. This beer will destroy you. It is so damn good. It is so easy to drink. It is easy to drink is not the right word. It is delicious. You want to drink this, but it'll destroy you. And this beer destroyed me. This is one of the very few times I've handed the keys to Carrie and went, "You're driving home because I'm gone." This was probably my favorite, maybe not my favorite beer that I've had in 2022, but my favorite beer over 12%. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So, John, let's see how hungry you are and how fast you run through your 3.
3, 2, 1. I'm good. There you go.
Okay, so we're done. Great show, everybody. Listen to us on Facebook and YouTube. Bye now. Have a good time.
Anyway, my
drink lots, drink responsibly. Goodbye now.
What really sucks is that I sound like I'm drunk, but I'm not, because I have all of a sudden I have the hiccups. So it's gonna be funny. Read me. See, there you
go. I got to give a shout out to Scott Wells. Apparently, he may be freelancing at Wander Brewing, because
what did they do?
Hey, there you go.
The label's completely
crooked.
Like, no, crooked isn't the word for that. It's like
it's so long.
Wait.
Oh, we love Scott.
Well, maybe that was intentional.
I'm wondering. It's not a White Russian beer, is it?
It intentionally looks screwed up then. Ooh, I got a Baltic Porter aged in bourbon barrels.
Oh, nice.
Did I say Helsinki?
I got to look at your Tavour bill. I mean, this is,
No, I'm not even looking at it. So
yeah, Matt's Tavour bill is like $300 for his last drop.
Exactly. All right.
At least
I just got a top 3 for you. My number 3 this year.
No honorable mentions?
Well, if I had to have an honorable mention, this is going to be funny because of the hiccups now.
Spoonful of peanut butter.
I know. Of peanut butter. As soon as I go downstairs, I don't have any up here. So there we go. My honorable mention will be the same as yours, the triple barrel wooden cleat.
Such a good.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite cane beers.
And ironically, I think I had it the same day that you had it. But that's
before we went up to Apatow.
Exactly. So anyway, my number 3, Stacking Casks, number 8.
Stacking Casks is another cane.
From Cane. 4 clocks in it. 14%.
And we had it that same day.
We had it that same day.
Was that cognac barrel?
It's an English barley wine. I think it is the cognac barrel.
I think it was the cognac barrel. Yeah, it was that was a very. I liked Wooden Cleat better.
I like the Stacking Casks better. I enjoyed the now last year the original Wooden Cleat, the original, not even the original Wooden Cleat. To this day, if I still have a bottle of it. Matt just showed you his bottle of it.
Yeah. He'll show you his if you show him yours.
What's funny is the only way he's going to split my bottle with me is if he splits his bottle with me.
The thing why I like the Wooden Cleat better than Stacking Casks, as I liked.
So here's the Amberana. What is it? Amberana double barrel.
What? No. Oh, nice.
But that first year Wooden Cleat was ridiculous. So,
yeah. But I like Wooden Cleat better. The only reason I like Wooden Cleat better than Stacking Casks is I like the body of it better.
Right.
It's got a fullness to it that just really filled your mouth. That's what she said. It's a fuller beer for me.
There you go. Stacking Casks number 8. That's my number 3.
8? Oh,
Stacking
Casks number 8 is number 3.
It's my number 3, right?
I thought you were going to give us 8 fucking beers.
No, not at all.
Okay. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm hungry. So.
My number two is, and we all had it the same day. My number 2 is One Mint from Grimm.
You got to track down the Booker's one because somehow it was even better.
It's funny because we sat there in Grimm, and anybody who knows Grimm knows they make great beers, and we drank some great beers, but all of us were like, this beer is fucking special. Even for Grimm, this beer was special.
Well, then even though I tried it right there, I bought 2 bottles to go home with.
You bought it, yeah. You did.
Oh, yeah. Goddamn you.
It lasted about 5 weeks before they were both gone. That's why I bought the Booker's one, because I was like, 1 minute, I'm out of that. I want that. And then I got it. I'm like, wait a minute, this is different. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, it's better. I'm like, how the hell did they get that?
Yeah, fuck you.
Well, we're going to Brooklyn on Friday, so we might have to take a ride by Grimm just to see if they have another one.
Are we going to Brooklyn on Friday?
Well, we're going to Brooklyn on Friday. I don't know. You are.
I've got on my list. Oh, God. Yeah, I got Interborough listed on my list. I've got it planned for Friday night.
Anyway, my number 1 for this year. Matt didn't agree with me, but that's okay. Out in Minnesota, when we were in Minneapolis at Surly Brewing, the 2018 Fernet Barrel Aged Darkness.
Fernet Barrel
Aged Darkness.
I would just like to say that I did not argue the quality of the beer. I just am not a Fernet guy.
He's not a Fernet guy.
It's not it's a personal preference.
Is it the citrus Fernet or the straight up Fernet?
It was regular Fernet.
Yes. It was very unique, and it was very good. It was very unique.
Mm-hmm.
I will give it that, because that is not a flavor combination that you are used to getting.
No,
that was very unique. That's a good one. That's a good choice, actually.
That was amazing, that beer.
That's a solid choice right there.
That's my number one.
All right.
And there you have it. And there you go. And just to read off.
Surly makes some decent barrel aged beers. So
do they?
That was basically a dark, that was a darkness version that they only had on tap there at the brewery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think they bottled that. That was just for the tap.
It was just for the tap room, and that was it. Just so you're aware, last year Matt's 3 for last year were his number 3 was Tweak from Avery. Mm-hmm. His number 2 was Sammy Claus. His number 1 was Beer Barrel Time from Side Project. So
something actually knocked it down to 2. I'm impressed.
And that was his number 2 this year because of the Mortalis that he had. Yeah. Dave's ones from last year were Days Series Stout from the brewery, Dragon's Milk Reserve Triple Mash from New Holland, and
oh god, that was such a good fucking beer.
SR71 from Toppling Goliath was his number 1.
Okay, so I'll say one thing. Last year when we did this, we did not limit it to the year.
No, we did.
No, we didn't, because I did not have that in 2021.
Oh, then I'm sorry. Then these are your ones from last year. Mad Rum Runners Thimble from Thimble Island, Chocolate Rain from the brewery, and Bourbon Barrel Aged Observing Reason from Trillium.
Oh god, that was a good.
Okay, then
that number 1 was insanely good.
And those were your 3 from.
Yes.
Okay. I would also like to say that I went to Pastry Town this year and poured for Carton, so I got to drink a lot of the dumbest stouts, dumbest barrel aged stouts, and I think it's particularly interesting that while a lot of the beer was very good, none of that beer made the list.
No,
and that's because BBT, as simple as it is still. I would rather drink that 100 times than have all the marshmallows and all the crap.
Well, because where was this held?
Other half. Well, it was held in Brooklyn at a place, but other half sets, holds pastry.
So when you look at the pastry stouts, you're looking at there's so much lactose in there. If you are lactose intolerant, you're going to die.
Yeah, not all of them have lactose, but most of them have lactose or marshmallow. So yeah, there's an egregious level of sweetness to most.
There's a very thin line between lactose and marshmallow.
Yeah. There is.
Both.
From a diabetic's point of view, yes.
Yeah. On that note, my 3 from last year were. Utopia's Barrel Aged Worldwide Stout was the number 3.
That was solid.
A Deal with the Devil, the Triple Oaked barley wine from Anchorage Brewing that we had at the bottle share that Neil brought back.
I was not at that bottle share.
You were not at that bottle share. No. So, and my number 1 was the regular wooden cleat from Kane.
And we try not to be homers. We really do try.
Wait, if I put this up 3 times, does that mean it appears at your place?
That appears over here.
Yeah.
We try not to be homers.
It's over there. I can't get off camera and get it. So anyway, on that note, we did get Kane. You were saying.
We try not to be homers. And Kane's from New Jersey, but Mike knows his shit. He knows what he's doing.
Well, they continually and consistently put out really, really good stuff.
And they've now got a side project, so to speak, of wild ales that seriously do not suck.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
On that note, we mentioned Days Series Stout, Dragon's Milk Reserve Triple Mash, and SR71 were Dave's all-time top three. As of last year, my all-time top three are Bourbon Barrel Age Pottery from the brewery. Number 2 is Uncle Jacob Stout from Avery. And Triple Bock. My number 1 is Triple Bock from Sam Adams.
And it's really, really hard to not throw in there that one of my favorite series of Imperial Stouts, Big Baptista.
Big Bad Baptista.
Yeah, Big Bad Baptista from Epic. I mean, it's fun.
Well,
it's well brewed.
There's a couple. There's Baptista Stout. There's Bad Baptista, and there's
Big Bad
Baptista.
And for this show, we're only talking about Big Bad Baptista, and they have put out some great variants within that particular labeling for that.
And there you have it. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that is it. That is wow. That's a lot. On that note, for this year, basically, guys.
Yeah,
and we're
big
done.
Year, big ABV, big long 2.5-hour show.
Exactly. So we hope everybody.
And we can hear as much as we can hear Matt laughing his ass off. We can hear John's stomach growling.
Yeah, because the food is just amazingly. It smells good.
What's for dinner, John?
It's London broil, braised and cooked in Peter Luger's steak sauce with mashed potatoes, Brussels sprouts, and a nice salad and some other stuff. So.
Sounds awful.
I made 20 pounds of prime rib yesterday.
Well, there you go.
I had two days ago.
I had leftovers from the weekend from yesterday. I had so much from a Sunday.
That's like a catering amount of meat. That's what we did for my family. So
well, it was very nice, and I thank you for inviting me over. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Asshole.
We only had like 28 people here, or whatever we had. So.
Like 2 more would have made any difference.
Well, really, exactly. Anyway, all right. Well, it's been a great year for the Lager Room guys. There's some really interesting things going to be happening next year. We kind of foreshadowed a few of them.
And we'll see if we can vet this out.
It's going to be a really interesting 2023.
We expect. Well, we'd love to meet this guy from Germany, and that's a very good Parzival. What's his name?
His name is
Parzival.
Where'd it go? Where is he? It is Parzival. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Parzival,
which is that is from the King Arthur legends.
Yep.
So love to meet this guy. If John and I can vet this out and we can make this happen, we're gonna have a lot of goddamn fun in 2023.
Absolutely. And on top of that, look forward to a bunch of very interesting things from Coastal Brewworks in 2023. So.
Oh, wrong side.
That side, wrong side. There you go.
Yeah.
It's backwards.
It's backwards on the screen. So there you go. And once again, folks,
nothing interesting coming from me, but yeah.
No, you don't want to do it. So, but no, but there's plenty coming from you with what we're going to be doing. But the 3 of us will be doing it. But in any event,
well, we might. There's a good possibility we may see a podcast coming from St. John's Gate.
It's very possible. It's very possible. And next week we're off.
You son of a bitch. I'm in.
What?
I said, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
You show up. It's in August. If you can get there, come in. We will so fucking do this because you do the tour of St. John's Gate. They teach you how to pour.
Right. Yeah, but that's a while ago. But Matt, you and I might be really, really busy come August. So
you might.
It's so.
I'll take a weekend. It's okay. It's St. James.
All right. Anyway, it's been a wonderful 2022, folks. Thank you so much for paying attention to us. Paying attention to us, putting up with us, enjoying us. We've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed you. We've enjoyed all the guests. We want to thank everybody that was a guest this year.
Oh my God.
We mentioned
the guests that we've had. So John put to me, what was your favorite? I'm like, that's not fair.
It's not. It's like I said, every guest was every show was amazing.
No.
So And in 2023, we're just going to look to top it. We're going to look to top it. I mean, it'll be technically our fourth year.
Seriously, our first show of 2023 is really setting the bar high.
And yeah, exactly. We're off next week, January 3rd. We're off
because
next week.
John and Jess are on their way to
Boston. We're going to Boston. Going to Boston for a couple days. So we'll be up there. Expect to see some Boston beers within a few weeks of next week's show. But
you're heading to Buchanan,
show 2 weeks from tonight. Of course. But the show 2 weeks from tonight, January 10th, it's all smoked beers. It's John Hall. It's the This Week in Roush Beer show. So it's
we will drink.
Okay, if you got them.
Exactly.
We will drink more beer on this show than we've ever drank on any show because John and I both have five
beers.
Five beers lined up for the show.
Show. I will be eating dinner before the show so I can just go into the bedroom and pass out after the show. So there you go.
Well, the thing is that with Roush beers, they're mostly not at all that high in
alcohol. No, they're not, but it's still 5 of them. So
it's still you're going to spend more time in the bathroom than in the bed.
Yeah, fair enough. But in any event, like I said, thank you to everybody. What's that?
Just depends. You got it.
Well, that
so we will wear the pens. We'll wear the pens on the show.
You don't think there's a bucket right down here? I mean, come on.
Like when the Japanese business guys go out drinking, like boom, you just got to wear the bet. You can't show weakness.
Done. Yeah, exactly.
That's not a bad idea for this.
Not really a bad idea,
considering the volume of alcohol we're going to drink that day.
Exactly. We're going to think about that anyway. Cameras only go up to here, so we're good.
Okay. You don't know if we're wearing pants or not. So how do you know if we're wearing
I said I was wearing sweatpants, but you have no idea if I'm telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, thank you all for watching the show this year and last year and the year before. So we want to
seriously to everybody who watches us,
and Brian,
and
to everybody who watches us,
fuck Brian
and Brian.
But everyone who watches us, we're sorry. We'll apologize right up front.
Not at all.
And we're not including Brian in that part.
No, we're not sorry. That's so fair.
Exactly.
But no, we do thank all of our viewers, all of our listeners. If you watch and if you're not watching the video, there's a few things you'll miss, and we do that intentionally to make you watch the video. Mm-hmm. But even to our audio listeners, thank you so much for your support. We have no idea why you're listening because we're a bunch of fucking idiots. but if
you're like-minded like us, we know why you're watching. So.
We know why you're watching because we have been in the beer world so long. We know too many people in the beer world. We've drank so many beers, and your comments are really appreciated because we don't know everything. We like to think we do, but we don't. So
getting close.
Watch.
No one knows everything. Well,
watch, comment.
Well, we know one guy that knows everything.
He thinks he knows everything. We will mention him because we don't want him to pop up tonight because we want to end this show within the next hour because he likes the sound of his own voice.
So
he's got a nice voice.
He's got a great voice. I love his voice.
Really good
voice.
But
Mr. Orange himself.
Mr. Orange. Why do I have got to be Mr. Pink?
Hey, I don't know. Does that count?
No. We didn't say the name.
Not live.
Oh, well. Yeah, I cut to say his name, but anyway. On that note, we want to thank everybody before I get to the outro, thank you so much for
this is going to be a very bad show
in 2021. And I just want to say one thing to everybody because it is the pre-New Year's Eve show, but Merry New Year!
Merry New Year! So hopefully in 2023, we'll find a show where we will take the challenge will occur. And we all know what that challenge is. It is Dave trying to complete a liter of beer before John can finish the outro.
I'm going to put it out there. We're doing this on the next show. On the John Hall show, you're going to drink.
No, I'm not going to do a liter of
water.
No. It has to be beer. We're not doing it.
I don't have to wait. You know what? We'll do it on the Chuck Aaron show on January.
What about like a really lightly smoked Hellas?
It's not bad. Yeah, but it'll be a
drinking,
sixth beer.
I will be 5 beers in. No. We're not doing it on the John Hall show. The Chuck Aaron show is not.
Let's do it on the Chuck Aaron show. February 7th. We'll do it on the Chuck Aaron show.
What beer?
I don't know. That's up to you. I'll let you decide.
You choose the beer.
It's not going to be Boat because there's just too much gas in Boat.
There you go. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it's going to be.
What?
It's going to be Awkward Tan Lines. I'll even supply you with them.
Is it going to be brewed again before that?
Nope.
All right. You supply me with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's on.
Done. There you go. All right. Fair enough. There
February what?
February 7th.
All righty.
All right. There you go.
On.
It's on.
Like Donkey Kong.
It's on like Donkey Kong. All right. On that note, we'll wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. And for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great, happy, and healthy 2023.
I finished my fucking beer. Why are you toasting? What the hell?
A happy New Year, everyone. And we will talk to you soon.
And not for nothing, if you like underwater photography, Shark 8 Matt, the number 8. You've really got to get on this. Is on Instagram.
Just to throw it out there. If you go to most any Coastal Brew Works Instagram post, you can look at the tags and he's tagged in it. So you can just
and Shark 8 Matt, some of his photography has been shown on Shark Week.
Yep. Nat Geo, Shark Week, all that good stuff.
So
there you go. All right, folks. Cheers. Happy New Year. Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
And we will talk to you next year, folks. Enjoy. Cheers.
Hey, Johnny. Safe travels to you and Jess.
Thank you very much.
Let me know what you drink.
A happy and healthy New Year's to everybody out there.
There might be some night shift on the docket there.
I believe we'll be drinking some Bennington up there. So.
Oh, I've had that beer.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's
a pretty good one.
It's not a bad beer at all. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, cheers. Happy New Year, folks.